Also, could I get a brief? I sort of got a summary, but like refresher
Yes,
on what happened in the last.
we'll do that right now.
Oh,
So when last we saw Squad 13, they had they had performed a job for their friendly neighborhood changeling, Nyx. Nyx had burst in on the party when they were eating breakfast at Jambus's home and had offered them a payment of 1,000 gold pieces, half up front, half on delivery, to recover a manual of Golomancy from a wizard who had seemed to have gone crazy after the loss of his beloved wife. The party debated extensively whether or not they wanted to support the Nyctocerassus, but eventually decided to undertake the mission and decide what to do with the book after they had recovered it. The party was led down into the tunnels below the city where they found something odd. A series of interconnected stone pathways beyond the typical packed earth that seemed to be the remains of some very old underground structure. Entering inside, the party found a series of rooms that appeared to be originally part of some sort of living complex before doing battle with a variety of forces, destroying a gelatinous cube and a veritable army of troglodytes. The party pressed inward, and after some significant time spent fiddling with a curtain rod, uh, eventually did find their way to a door behind which was the wizard in question. The party struggled mightily with the door as it seemed to regenerate each time that they did any damage to it. After a few blasts of flame, however, its regeneration was temporarily counteracted, and Sirenixia was able to burst into the room, though the party took significant damage with fireballs through the opening before that was complete. Once in, the party discovered uh, the the tragedy unfolding as the wizard performed the final moments of the Golomancy ritual and raised his what we assume was his fallen wife as a flesh golem. Uh, the party did battle with her and her former husband, now necromantic master, and after destroying both of them, the party was able to recover the book. They discussed what should be done with it, and after uh, Agate and Jamra examined it, Orentha seemed to be Orentha and Milady expressed that they believed it should be destroyed, as Orentha took psychological damage merely from reading it. The others were not so swayed, however, and the discussion went back and forth before they were finally able to examine it on the surface and eventually determined to return it to the Nyctocerassus, provided they would have access to be able to examine it if there were any concerns of its misuse or if there were things they needed to know within it. And that's where we left off. That was yesterday, and today you all are waking up on a new day, a new morning. And so I ask, is there anything that any of you are in particular are doing today?
Sorry, just want to make sure it works. Um,
Um, Sorry, I'm still typing up all my spells because I forgot to do that.
Sure,
Uh,
no problem.
Milady is just going to start the day by cooking as she normally does.
Okay.
Start the
Breakfast.
day by re-summoning Jasper.
You do so. You perform the various portions of the ritual, which have now. You're not necessarily comfortable with his disappearance, but it's not quite as traumatic as it was the first time. And you
My
know,
item sheet, I now have 3 get Jasper backs. Anyway, continue.
oh dear. Um, and after 10 minutes and the appropriate amount of gold is expended, you are able to witness Jasper return to you. When Jasper does return to you, Agate, how does he do so? Does he just pop into existence? Is there some sort of a portal? Does he appear from through the shadows? How does he do it?
So
Didn't we
I
have him in the brazier?
out of the brazier,
Right.
You what?
cast the spell in this little brazier that I bought, and so as everything is burning, he sort of just materializes out of the mist.
Okay. And he curls up back around your neck as you're used to.
Sorry, Jasper, I didn't mean to kill you.
He just looks at you straight with his cool blue eyes.
Wonderful.
You doing
I
anything
head
else?
down to breakfast.
Okay. Orentha, Sirenixia, are you doing anything in particular different today?
Orentha's being an upset teen and is just staying in bed.
Whoa.
Guilt.
Okay.
What?
Sirenixia.
I think normal routine. Sharp, keeping weapons nice and oiled, and a little bit of music before heading down for breakfast.
Okay.
Not particularly happy with giving the book to the Nyctocrasis, but such is life.
You had mentioned, I think, I don't know if you were there when we got to discuss it. Was there some sort of research or something that Sirenixia was trying to do before? I don't recall if we.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think my research efforts have been failing, and I think she's given up on that for at least a little while.
Okay.
She's frustrated.
You can all head down then, and begin your day the old-fashioned way with a nice hot meal. Milady, what are you making for breakfast this morning?
Oh shoot! I actually want these responses.
Sausages.
Sausage.
There is such thing as too much sausage.
Yep.
Trindak would know.
Today there's.
That's why I left the mines. It was a sausage fest.
Oh
Today. Question: can I use my sorry. Can I use my fate points to get proficiency in a healing kit?
Yeah. So I believe that a proficiency is
Proficiency in a healing kit?
I believe that's something that there's a proficiency in.
Yeah,
Is that
you
not?
get it with your background.
Yeah, I don't have that. It wasn't available as all of the cool backgrounds I was interested in.
Should that be the same cost as a skill proficiency, since it's a...
It's a tool proficiency, so it probably should not be the same cost.
Probably.
I would budget that, and anyone can tell me if I'm wrong. That one should probably cost about 4. Does that make sense to everybody, or?
Yes.
Seems fair.
I'm still not convinced. Can somebody show me where this exists? Because I feel like it doesn't exist.
What? The healer's
There's
kit?
a herbalism kit. The healer's kit is just something that you buy that's an item that you can use. And then if you get a feat, you can use it even better.
What are you trying to do then, Maria?
Basically, I just want to be better at getting you guys up when you fall.
Okay. So, are you proficient in medicine?
Says, there's no proficiency with the healer's kit in raw.
Yeah,
So
this kit
everyone
is
can use
lots of pouch. It has 10 uses.
I do have proficiency in medicine.
So, if you would like to pick up, since you are proficient, it would just be 3 skill points. You could pick up the first skill path on the medicine tree, which would be healer's bag. Healer's kits are considered to have twice as many charges as normal while using them, and when you use them to stabilize a dying creature, it wakes up in 1d4 rounds instead of 1d4 hours.
Oh, there we go. That's where the talent trees.
So that would be pretty good. And if you wanted to spend an additional 3 past that, you could take Medic, which would let them regain a hit point when you stabilize them.
Ooh, I like, and I don't
So
know why this is viewable the way it is, but let me just.
So why don't you take a look at that
Pretty
tree and decide
yes,
what you would like to
please.
pick up.
Okay, yes, I will look at that.
Okay, so you guys are the two of you then, Agate and Sirenixia, are clustered around the breakfast table. We'll say that there's probably some sort of a hash and oats that are being served. You recall that most of the food that comes into the city in terms of actual grains and cereals is imported, because the city really can't sustain any sort of substantial cereal agriculture on such little land. So they tend to bring in things that are relatively low weight, low size.
Sounds good.
So most things will be made of like an oat paste.
Okay.
But as you're sort of getting up and stepping away from the table, you would likely hear a knock at the door.
I'm going to use Thaumaturgy to open the door.
Wham! You see the face of a very surprised guard.
Oh, sweet.
Bing.
What brings you here,
Hello.
sir?
Oh, and he sort of rubs his forehead, pulls his helmet off his head. Well, I was just getting off my shift, and someone asked me to bring you this message.
Very well.
He hands it out to you.
I
And
will
he sort
take
of
it.
Stands there looking at you for a minute.
Okay.
Is Milady
What's
in
the
the room at this
message
point?
today? Yeah, Milady would still be in the room.
Okay, can you just double check what number this guard has?
What number?
If he's
Sorry,
part
what
of
do you mean number?
Like the tranquil guard. If he's tranquil guard.
I'm sorry, do they have like a number on their chest or something? Or
It would be like on their shoulder.
Oh, okay. He would likely
Be
be
an absolute pain.
how many Tranquil Guard are there?
We have 122 being the highest number so far, so.
Okay. He would probably be like 73, let's say.
Sounds good. Thank you.
And you are you familiar with the city?
Milady?
Milady? Yeah.
Yes.
Why don't you make a history check?
Sounds good. Clearly not.
Oh, he just seems to be wearing like a slightly odd uniform, but you're not sure what it means.
Okay.
So next he sort of looks at you for a minute. Sort of rubs his hand together.
I will.
Oats.
I will hand him
A sausage.
5 silver pieces.
Thank you kindly. And he'll start making to walk out the door then.
Yeah.
You said you're reading the message.
Yes.
Okay. It says, when you pop it open, you just see it seems like first the paper that you're feeling has a rough texture as you realize that it's not like normal paper at all. You think it's actually like a sort of pulped rag, and you recognize it immediately as sort of like toilet tissue. And it says, written on it in sort of like this rough charcoal, "There's more you don't know. If I die tomorrow, it dies with me. Come say hello." And then at the bottom is there's a single sort of pushed right into the margin price.
Oh man.
Forgot about that plot line.
Okay. That's the one that's getting she's the one being killed, right? Well, she's a pirate. That
The
This is
last
the
time you
pirate that
saw
we
her
brought
was a
back
few weeks
for
ago
Denver.
when you brought her back and you informed the guard that she was a pirate and you handed them in her custody.
Okay.
I run up to Sirenixia. I'm like, what did the mail say?
Price has this information for us.
No, DM, can I also buy a healer's kit?
Yeah, you can
This
spend
morning.
money to buy it. It's basic. Just spend the listed gold.
Great.
Say you had bought it before.
Also, did we? No, yeah, we did. We get any addition? So, did we get the extra money for the finish of the job last time?
Yes, I
Yeah.
believe Trindak added it.
I added mine to his.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
And we can
I
just double
should
check when he asks.
figure out how much that is because I've been keeping track of how much I owe him.
I think it was just 210 was the total
210. Okay,
additional for each person.
sounds good.
Um,
I will take it slow.
So I at this point, I've gone up to Sirenixia and asked to see the mail.
Yeah, and I've handed it to her. I'll hand Agate the letter.
And she can read it.
I read
you
it.
can read it.
I-
It's definitely it
I-
reminds you of your own handwriting in the sense that like it's pretty blocky. It's clear that this person is not a particularly schooled individual.
Okay. Go sit back at the table and read the note to everyone else.
Yeah.
I love that ability. Just like the blueberry from Willy Wonka.
We'll say Orentha probably comes down around now. Do you think that's fair, or do you think she's still away?
I think she's still away. I hate to be that
Okay.
jerk player.
No, you're not a
That's-
jerk. That's fine.
It's
Meditate.
not your first time, and we still like you, so you're fine.
Yeah.
Do what your character would do, Emily. That's fine.
Orentha is meditating with her beer in her room.
Okay.
Milady is going
come
to
back to
take
you in a
a
minute,
plate of oats upstairs to her, just to sort of check in on her.
Okay, so we'll go to that interaction in just a moment.
Yep.
So Sirenixia and Agate, you have the note in front of you at the table.
Yeah. Well, Agate, I believe we should pay Price a visit.
So, I think that would be a good idea.
They're available.
I'm gonna send Jasper to run up the stairs to Orentha's room.
Milady sort of jumps as she sees Jasper come in and is like,
An elephant and a chipmunk walk into the room.
So when Milady opens the door to your room, Orentha, what does she see?
She sees Orentha sitting cross-legged on her bed with her deer skin in her hand and just kind of closing her eyes, but with like a furrowed brow. She's not really relaxed, but she's trying to be.
Is there anything in particular that she's trying to contemplate, or is she just trying to calm herself down?
She's looking for guidance.
What is she looking for guidance about?
How to make the right decision.
Okay. As you're meditating on there, you have taken just a small sip and you have then shaken, okay, you've taken a large chug and the remainder, the dregs of the alcohol. You remember from the sort of, you now recognize it as meditation, what your mind as a soldier saw as just sort of messing around in the firelight, the slight shifting back and forth of the jug in your hands, the way that the ripples move back and forth, and you can just look down and fall into them, imagining yourself cresting over the waves like you're on a sea of beer, and then letting the bubbles carry you up and the foam carry you down. And as you're doing that, you're thinking of how you can make things right, how you can make the right choices. Just make a simple wisdom check.
Ooh. Well,
Okay. You think back to your life with the Order. You think back to the times that you had spent there, the experiences you had. You think about how they did always say that you couldn't make the world right until you made yourself right. And you couldn't make yourself right until you were open to things. Maybe what you're looking for with trying to choose is that you need to be open so you can see all the choices you have. And it's at that moment that an elephant and a chipmunk run into your room.
Jasper is
Milady
going
would
to
never run.
scramble up to the bed
It's at
onto
that
her
moment that an elegant elephant
With a
trundles
tray. With a tray.
with a tray.
But she would never
Jasper's
run.
gonna scurry up Orentha's shoulder and in Agate's voice in Orentha's ear say, "Hi Orentha, how are you doing?"
oh my god.
Breakfast, Orentha?
Yes.
I brought you oats. They're healthy.
I suppose I have been eating too many sausages.
Yes.
And Orentha will take the oats from the lady. Thank you.
You're welcome. And Orentha kind of looks around. Should I clean up any of these bottles?
No, that's okay. I can. You don't have to do anything. You do enough. I can
Milady starts like kind of straightening things in the room.
help you. I've never
Hearing
Fluffing
this,
up pillows. She like
I've never said
tests her
character
temperature.
Jasper's gonna
True.
You're never what?
I've never said in character that Orentha's messy, but it's true.
Sorry.
Jasper's gonna run around the room and gobble up all of the empty bottles and run downstairs.
I'm just imagining like Kirby.
I'm just imagining Agate reaching into Jasper's throat, pulling out a bottle, and smashing someone over the head with it.
Oh god, I can't wait. It's gonna happen now.
Oh my god.
So, oh. See how Jasper's hoovering all the bottles up.
Orentha's just eating the oats while the lady straightens up her room.
Lady can do some wonderful things with just a little bit of fruit.
Yes.
So, quite flavorful.
To say with a full mouth, these are really good oats. Really good.
I'm glad you like them.
Jasper's gonna run back downstairs.
While they're upstairs,
I
Sirenixia,
really-
you probably see.
Sorry, I really need to update the wiki with episode listings and stuff. I've been hard doing this. I'm sorry.
I haven't been making. While I've been making the trees, I haven't been doing write-ups, so
That's totally fine.
I've gotten distracted as well. So, while you are sort of sitting downstairs, finishing the last of your breakfast and looking over the note, Sirenixia, I think John Moore would probably come down the stairs, sort of rubbing the sleep out of his eyes, and take a seat across from you, piling
morning,
a little bit of oats
Jabra.
on his table. Oh, good morning. Good morning.
We have
Agate.
news.
Oh, she's away.
Yes.
Right here.
No, I mean you're in the familiar at that time, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. We received a letter this morning from Price.
He'll sort of pause.
I'll
Oats midway to mouth.
I'll slide the
Oh.
letter over to him.
Looks down. Oh, she's going to die.
Yes. But it appears she has information that would be important for us to have.
So she says.
I think it is
Rat will
worth
always try to
hearing
save
her.
its hide.
Indeed. But I do not think we can pass up the opportunity. If she does have information about Bakrimanthis, I do not think that is something we can just let pass.
He'll sort of take a deep breath and then sigh and say, "You are right, my friend. You are right. But perhaps, perhaps I am not the best one to go with you when you speak with her. I have some business to attend to anyway, in the city. But if you do find anything out, please let me know, and I will gladly assist.
I will.
Just
That is fine.
best to know what we are made for.
I understand.
All right."
Yes.
And the Jasper will come running down to the room, and I can pop back into her own body.
Hi, Jamra.
Oh, good morning, Agate. Good morning.
To be like, look what we found in Orentha's room, and like slowly remove the bottles one after another onto the
So
table.
how many bottles are there?
Greater than or equal to 10.
I would say, like, if we
I
had
mean, I
to
guess-
rate it on a scale, it's some way between she has a problem and
This is
God,
impressive.
we need to schedule an intervention, but not quite at that point yet.
Yeah. And I guess, like, if she never cleans her room, it could be like 3 weeks worth of
Yeah. For
things.
And then as soon
for a monk of an order that's obsessed with order, she's very disorganized.
That's
so
great.
as soon as I've lined up the 10 bottles on the table, Jasper's gonna start at one end and just gobble through them.
Oh dear. Incredible.
Is she okay? Do you think she's okay?
Milady sort of comes down and says, "She is troubled.
I'm not troubled.
Eat your oats."
There's. I am eating my oats and they're delicious.
I can speak with her.
Yes. We all have our solutions to quieting an unquiet mind.
Yes. Although I believe some are more productive than others.
That is true. That is true. I should be off though. I have a meeting with a dwarf.
Good luck with that.
Thank you. Thank you. And good luck to all of you with your meeting. Let me know
Thank
how
you.
it goes, eh?
Certainly.
And Jammer will stride out of the room, having put his bowl, his cleaned bowl, sort of in the like the tray area.
Sounds good.
And Sirenixia will head upstairs and
Oh,
to
okay.
Orentha. And
And just eat
Was-
her oats.
was the door closed? But she'll knock at the entrance. Orentha, may I enter?
Sure. Do you want got some oats?
I appreciate the offer, but Milady has provided us with a perfectly wonderful breakfast downstairs. I was sorry I didn't see you there. But
Yeah, just
are you doing all right?
just felt like meditating this morning.
I can understand that. Any particular reason? I know that... Go ahead.
It just feels like every time we start to do something good, I don't know, we make wrong decisions. I don't trust an ectocrasis, especially with something dangerous. And the fact that we gave them what they wanted just makes me...
I understand your discomfort. I have experienced something very similar, and I think were I more present at the time, I would have spoken out strongly against what was done. But there is only so much that we can do. And in our current situation, we have good dealings with them, and I think that maintaining our cohesion as a unit can be far more valuable in the long run than short-term strife when possible. And also, if it would make you feel any better, we did receive a note this morning from Price, the pirate, I'm sure you remember. She claims to have information about Bakrimanthis, the creature from the depths, and has requested to, has made it known that she would like to speak with us. Perhaps that might ease your mind if these dealings with the underbelly are, of course, not pleasant. Never pleasant. But I think we can all agree that fighting a dark and powerful evil is a good use of our time. If you would like to join us.
Seems like a morally black and white situation. What could possibly go wrong? I think.
I agree completely.
Okay.
Will you join us then?
Yeah, and she'll take another swig of her wine. Her beer skin. Sorry, her beer skin. And go.
I appreciate your company.
Are the three of you going during the day? Are you waiting until nighttime? Or what are you doing? And
Well, let's-
and Milady, are you going to be accompanying?
Yes.
Okay.
Especially, I asked them first, is this likely to be dangerous?
I would imagine it wouldn't be too dangerous. We are, I assume, going to visit a captive prisoner. I can't imagine there's anything too dangerous immediately coming.
But you seem like the food you make is a little more potent than normal,
Yes.
which I greatly appreciated last time. Would
Yes.
it be all right if you came with us?
Yes, I will go get my sword.
Oh, well, sure.
Be glad to have the extra assistance.
Just really quickly, any particular desire for dark vision from anyone?
Nope.
Okay.
Woody.
that
I wish I had my second level cleric paladin spells. And the Zone of Truth would be really nice for things like this.
We
Oh.
have truth serum.
Do we now?
Putting it out there.
Well,
We don't.
I
I don't
think I
know what
drank
the
it all.
situation.
You drank it all, basically,
You
and
drank
then
all of it?
he
Okay.
Like-
spent a lot of time with Jambus.
Hmm.
He
Okay.
went through if he spent 80 hours in that room, which I think he definitely could have over a period of 2 weeks,
Okay.
just drinking truth serum and talking, then yes, absolutely. And I don't think anyone else knows that Agate has veer flowers.
That's correct.
what was that?
I don't think anyone else knows that you have veer flowers.
Yep. And your mind
Your-
magician is sitting this one out.
Your audio cut out once again, and I did not hear what you said.
Nobody knows you have magical truth flowers.
Nope. Try again.
No one knows you have magic truth flowers.
Nobody knows you have magic truth flowers?
Can't hear anything.
Oh no!
Yes. Haha. It's bad for everyone because I feel like I
No,
only
we can.
like every third word.
It's not.
It's not this bad for everyone.
Okay.
Well, I would certainly have no qualms going during the day. It seems prudent. It seems prudent to go as soon as possible and get what information we can.
I'm sure she can have visitors.
Okay. So you guys are setting off then.
Yes.
We're going to. So wait, hang on. We're going to the jail during the day.
Yeah.
That seems to be the consensus. Do you-
Okay. I'm gonna disguise self into.
Please.
I'm going to disguise self into a person that looks very much like me, but is not a tiefling. So just an ordinary 13-year-old girl.
Damn it. Okay. You avoided my cunning plan.
Oh,
What's up with tieflings?
Nothing's
She
up with tieflings. She's...
previously ran from the guards like 2 days ago.
Oh,
Ah.
yeah.
Best to let that one cool off a little bit.
yeah. Go let that one, sit on the countertop for 20 minutes before eating it.
Okay. So, the four of you head off through the city. Do you take any efforts to and do either of the other of you or any of the other of you take any efforts to disguise yourselves?
No.
I am special.
I'm super legal.
You're special in the sense that you are.
There's no way I could possibly change all of this.
I didn't know if you wanted to, like, I don't know, a very big hood.
No, I'd have to wear a veil and ears.
Ah.
And just
Oh, that's
my
a good
trunk
point.
is big
The
and
trunk.
it would be hard to breathe and something.
Okay. So you head out. You would definitely attract some attention,
I
particularly
sort of
given that.
nod to people that I know, especially merchants and stuff selling food, because I've been seeing them for a while. People kind of
Okay.
know me.
Yeah, you're
At least within
decently
the
well
area.
known, particularly around the markets
Yes.
of Pemalt, because you probably do a bunch of the shopping for
Yes.
people, or for blah blah blah.
Jambus.
Candace.
Jambus, yes. But I would like everyone to just make a quick. We no longer have knowledge local, so let's just say a history check from everyone.
Okay.
Clipping their
To
nails.
see if you guys know where.
I
To see if
have
you.
spent some time studying the practices of the guard, if that makes any difference.
Okay.
Like learning about how they worked and all of that.
History. I can't for the life of me. Okay. I was looking at medicine. I'm like, this doesn't. Mighty
Okay.
Nine!
So, Sirenixia, Agate, and Milady, you all say, okay, you know that there's like a central like prison holding center that's towards the interior of the city. But Orentha, you recall specifically that any sort of because Guvira is a trade city, any sort of crime that happens on the docks, there is a separate stockade. And you think that based on where you brought her, she's probably there. And that would be in the Hearthfire district.
I will lead everyone to
Okay. You guys travel through Little Lump and then into Gull's Foot and then out the main gate. You have all your paperwork now, so you can go right through, although there is a bit of a line, particularly given that it's that time of the day. But after about 5 or 10 minutes, you're able to get out into the district itself. You see that the jail is actually a stone extension of the city wall itself. It's of a slightly different shade and color, but it appears to just sort of jut out perhaps 30 or 40 feet from the wall, and it's perhaps 2 stories, and it connects on the rear side with the structure. It's set perhaps 100 yards from the shore, and there are a few stalls and things near it, but there's about like a 20-foot area around it where nothing is set up. And there are about 2 guards that are at one of the side entrances. They're just sitting on these chairs, clearly bored, but not totally inattentive.
So do we just?
Maybe you should talk to them, Sirenixia.
Yeah,
Say that we're here to see someone.
I will approach. Excuse me, sirs.
Hmm?
I received. Is the prisoner Price here?
Um, Price, oh, who's asking?
I we brought her in about 2 weeks back.
All
I'm just
right.
hoping to check in. We received a note from her this morning.
You got a note from a prisoner.
I did.
Uh, Prisoners aren't supposed to have any mail in the stockade, so not sure you got any notes, but uh, Marvin, check the ledger, see what's going on with Price. Oh, goes he opens the door. You see it's like a wooden front, and then there are some iron bars at the center point, so you can sort of look in, and there's a little bit of light that gets in. He opens it and closes it, and you hear some rummaging around in a little side room, and then he pops out. There's Price is due to go on trial tomorrow.
Might we speak with her?
Um, that's really the sort of thing that would need a permit, you know.
And who would we speak to about that?
Well, I mean, you'd have to file paperwork with whatever your local office is, and then they'd need to escalate it. It would be a bit involved. And I mean, she goes on trial tomorrow, and but
Indeed.
so
Well,
I mean, I wish you luck, buddy, but if you have to get the paperwork, it would be a while.
is there any way to expedite the process, or perhaps
Oh,
make
well,
some sort of exception?
expedite.
I'm gonna walk up to the guy and like pull out 5 gold.
Oh, I see. Well, that's some. Marvin, she's got the paperwork right here.
I do. I picked it up on the way here.
Oh, kids these days.
Sir,
They know what needs to get done ahead of time. Bless you, girl. He collects into his hands. He's looking at it very greedily, as if he's surprised it was that much. And
just a little bit of a disappointed look crosses
he
Sirenixia's
takes it,
face.
and you see him pass
Just
2 of
very
them to
briefly.
Marvin.
I'm gonna say, well, thank you, and I'm just gonna go walk straight ahead.
Um,
I feel like Agate's learned a lot.
says,
Yeah.
well, listen. The lieutenant is inside in his office. And paperwork for him tends to be a little bit more extensive, if you know what I mean. But come on this way, and I'll let you have a chat with her, right? He takes you around the side of the building. And he starts he's looking at like the little pad that he has. 1, 2, and you see that there are these high windows that are set in with bars in them. He says, okay, he counts about 6 down. He says, okay, that's the one. She's in there, just keep it down. And
So are
won't
we
bother you
inside of
here.
we're inside of the compound, but not like the main.
You're there's sort of like a little exterior wall, and then there is the stockade itself. So you're sort of shielded from the outside view, and you're within that little break area for the stalls. But you're not inside the actual structure. It's just that there's a window that he's saying looks in on her cell.
Or perhaps I should go and say hi since Sirenixia, you tried to kill her last time we were
I mean,
together.
I think she and I had a lovely conversation last time. I could probably go say hi.
I mean, it's not like we just like be speaking. It's like a barred window, right? There's not a way to get inside the cell, right?
No, it's like a
Right.
barred window.
I'm
Okay.
gonna.
It's a small window. It's maybe like like 2 feet wide by 1.5 feet tall.
Guys, if we go hide a little ways away, I can just send Jasper in and talk to her through Jasper.
Well,
I would like to speak with her.
yeah.
So did they have the guards left at this point, or are they
The guard will
still?
walk back around the other side.
Yeah.
Just don't take too long.
Price, are you in
The,
there?
the lieutenant will probably come out in about 30 minutes, so just be out of here by then. Hmm? What's that?
Price,
Price?
Yeah.
Sirenixia, Orentha. We met you. We brought you here. You sent us a message.
Hold on.
And Agate.
You hear a little. You hear like a small thumping inside, like clunk clunk. It sounds like wood on wood, and then you see a face,
Did you,
a swarthy face,
did you
peering through the bars. Says, "So you got my message."
We
How much
did.
did it cost you?
Hmm?
How much gold did it cost you?
Not gold. Well, enough of that though. What? I see you're all here then, except for the spicy fellow and the dwarf.
Yes.
Wait, does she recognize me? Because I'm disguised.
Oh no, she wouldn't. She's just looking at you. And who are you?
Get.
Huh.
Never mind.
Okay. Well, like I said in my little note, there's some things I know.
And what are they?
I'd say they're pretty darn important.
So it's so nice that you're being a good Samaritan and telling us.
That's me. Just a good old Samaritan. But you know, one good turn really deserves another. I hear tomorrow I'm due to go on what these folks call a trial,
Yes.
which is really just some bureaucrat sits in a room, looks over the case, and stamps the guilty stamp on me.
As they should.
And then they either hang me real quick and dump me to ensure they don't tick off anyone out of Tide Tree, or they send me off to the penal company, and I get to spend my last weeks brushing through jungle before disappearing mysteriously. That sounds a bit inconvenient to me.
So what, you want us to steal the guilty stuff?
That's one way of doing it. Listen, all I'm saying is that I know where the captain got his, and if you want to know, well, best make sure that my neck stays unwrung.
And why didn't you tell us this to begin with?
You were going to kill me. And then you would have had no reason to let me out.
While they're having this conversation, can I stealthily her to look in the room and see,
Um,
kind of
Make a
survey it.
so
Milady's
Jasper would
going
be
to
like
sort
sort
of
of climbing up
step
the wall. She's
forward.
right there. Like you could try to send Jasper in through one of the other cell, so there's like a series of windows set up that way. But she's like filling one of the windows, but you could try to send Jasper in through another one if you'd like.
Ah, I'd like to do that. Like, send her into the next
Okay.
cell, and then. Ooh.
Okay. Why don't you have Jasper make a stealth check?
Would he
Okay.
get advantage with Milady helping?
Yeah, she's helping out. She's just covering from view.
Giant.
There's not really anyone around, so she'd just be blocking Price's view.
That's fine.
And
So
the advantage would only apply for people outside looking. Jasper still doesn't know what's inside.
So, hang on. Stealth is dexterity, and then it's going to be this +1.
Okay. So yeah, Jasper sort of
I'm so
crawls
sorry.
back.
Wrong one.
Sarah, I made
This +1.
Okay.
Sarah, I
Doesn't
made
matter.
a thing for Jasper, I think. But that may just be as an NPC. Okay, I'll have to figure it out later. No,
I
you
think
should
that
have
you just
control of him. If you look at the journal and stuff, you should be able to see Jasper there.
Okay.
Like right where you select
yes,
Agate.
you do have control of him.
There we go.
Okay. So,
Woo!
Jasper will skitter up the wall and peer inwards, and that is when Jasper will see this. Jasper, can you guys see that room?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Let me see
Yes.
if I can drag Jasper's little. I can make him
So cute.
I should make him even more mini though, because he is quite tiny, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, he's
I just sort of
super
kept him at that
creepy.
size for simplicity, but.
Yep. There he is. Okay. So you see that there is sort of a wooden bench that is set against the wall that seems to be like a sort of rough bed. There's a rag that's on it. You do notice that for this cell, there's actually like the bars are rusted and bent over here, and this one doesn't seem like it's in use.
Okay. Well, I'm going to have Jasper scurry out and then peer, like just stick his eyes in so he can look into Price's room and see what her situation is.
Sure. Why don't you move Jasper where you would like to move him, and I'll tell you what you see.
Move the Jasper.
So cute.
In the basket.
Can you move him?
I cannot move Jasper.
You
should be able
cannot.
to move him. That's weird. You should just
Should be
check
able
the
to.
control. Who has
Yep,
control
controlled
over him?
by Agate. Bam, there you go.
Hey! There we go. It's gonna go right here.
Okay. So you scurry out and you see that this whole area is sort of lit. There's a little bit of light that's coming in through the walls on this side, but not much. The light is coming through the walls on this side because this side faces directly into like the structure of the wall itself. And you will see a bank of these cells, and then a small passageway to that way. There seems to be another passageway to your right. And there are just two guards that are sort of sitting there on chairs. They have a small table between them, and they seem to be playing dice.
And so since Jasper knows what window he got through, would he know what window to get out? Like, Price is in?
Yeah, Price was just the window next to him.
Oh, so this one?
Yep. Yeah, you'll see Price in there. She seems to be standing on the wooden structure, and she has taken a wooden bucket that was in there and is sort of standing on the rim on top of the makeshift bed and looking through the window.
Okay. Is she restrained or anything?
She is not.
I'm going to have Jasper run in.
Okay. She doesn't notice him.
Jasper, like, go into so that line of sight
Go into what?
so she can see him.
Huh? Oh! What? Hello?
Hey, can I make
Are
a
you?
shh sound with Jasper?
You can make it. You can speak through Jasper, so yeah, you could do that. It just
Am
sounds like
so it's gonna be me. I'm gonna be.
he puts up the little paw and goes.
It's me.
Price.
She looks pretty weirded out, just looking down.
What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take bottles I took from Orentha out and put them quietly on wooden bench and scamper back out the window.
What? What are you? I'm gonna get in trouble
Price.
if those are in your. What are you fucking doing? You
If we
hear
help you,
Price
Price.
saying that to someone inside.
What is it, Price?
Just a fucking weird rat squirrel thing.
That's racist. He's a chipmunk.
Whatever. Yeah, if you help me.
What do you do when you get out after you tell us? You vanish,
You and I,
go off.
we go our separate ways. I never see you again, you never see me again.
Sadly, the world is small. I think
Yeah, well, this cell is smaller.
you should take a nice retirement once you're free. Maybe go to an island and stay there. Pay with your own money. Drink some pina coladas. Whatever.
I feel like pina colada.
Alright, I think I know just the island.
Margaritaville.
Something like that. Certainly a lot of rum. Well, listen, I don't care how you deal with how you deal with it. How you if you get me out of here, or you make the trial go away, or you do something. But the only way you find out what I know is if I am free and away.
Does she look to be in good health?
Make a medicine check.
Of course. Sorry, I'm on spells. This is gonna
That's okay.
take a second.
She doesn't seem like she is sick, but she's definitely not in great condition. Her hair is unwashed. In fact, the smell that's coming from it seems like she is in general unwashed. You suspect she hasn't been bathed since she's been imprisoned. And she just looks sort of a little bit tired, like she hasn't been sleeping well. It doesn't seem from what you can see of her like she's been tortured or anything. It just looks like they're not taking particularly good care of her.
But just on a meta level, it doesn't look like she's lost hit points or anything like that.
No, but
Okay.
she might have a level of exhaustion.
Okay. Thank you.
Well, I think you've made yourself clear. I am certainly willing to consider your offer.
Well, consider quickly, my friend. Your time and mine are both running out.
When is your trial tomorrow?
They don't tell us. but I hear they have a fondness for hanging at first light. I don't know how early the bureaucrats like to get up, though. They have soft beds, from what I've heard.
I think it's a business day, so probably 9 a.m.
Joy.
Do
Now,
the Can I just get information from Bryce about like when the guards change shifts, when the guards go patrolling around the cells, if they do, when do they bring meals to the prisoners, anything that would be helpful with that.
sure. So Price is
Doesn't
going to make a perception check. And we're going to say that that will represent her time. Uh,
Nice.
oh, okay.
Knows
Price
everything.
relays an exact. She has had nothing to do these past 2 weeks but sit here and alternatively fuck with and or watch the bastards that are imprisoning her. As she will explain in vigorous detail. She will tell you that they pretty much always have at least two guards standing at this center point. They're on watch ostensibly, but there aren't too many prisoners that have come in that are in here. There are just two that she knows of that are actually in the cells right now, and they she hasn't talked with them or anything. So the guard is pretty lax. They always have at least one guard at the front, two during the day, one at night, and there will be someone a in like an office that is a converted cell. It's just been converted into an office room, um, and that is where the watchman on duty, it's generally an officer of some kind, sits. They have braziers that they keep lit, and the watchman on duty will patrol every hour or so. But it depends a lot on who's on. There are some that are more diligent, and there are others that are less so.
Does she know their schedule well enough to say who was on duty tonight?
Yes. Based on that, yes. She knows that currently the lieutenant's on duty, which means he's going to get off at noon, which means he'll be back on at 8 o'clock tonight. And the lieutenant is fairly, he's not necessarily scrupulous, but um, he's a bit of a hard ass. She had to make sure that when she was bribing one of the guards to take you the note that the lieutenant didn't see. But there's a sergeant who comes on who is less so. He tends to gamble with the men. And from what she has seen, and she'll relay all this to you because of her very high perception check, he has a habit of spending his paycheck a little early and then trying to get it back from the men through various favors.
I'm gonna whisper to the others that are here. I like Price a lot, and I'd be happy if we freed her. Really suspicious if we walk in asking to see her and then she's gone the next day. That might get us or Jombus in a lot of trouble.
This is
I
Well,
have
correct.
no intention of breaking her out.
if you think about it, the guards that let us in here
Are
were
you talking about
breaking.
this in front of her, or
Or
have you
We're
gone
like
now?
cuddling.
Yeah.
I think it might be better if we
Okay,
have
so
the information.
why
Let
don't
us
everyone make a
leave and
stealth check then?
discuss
Because she's
this.
definitely trying to hear you if
Fine.
you're
I think
talking about
that
this outside her room.
let's
We can
discuss
hold this
this elsewhere.
conversation. Yeah, we can hold this for later. I didn't know where we were.
Okay.
Okay, so she will say to you, um, well, when should I expect you tonight?
Expect nothing.
Oh,
Be prepared. Hope we decide in your favor.
well,
And
I
hide
hope
that.
you do too. a lot of people that could get hurt if you don't. Alright, I'm gonna stop standing on this piss pot now.
Yeah.
You hear clunk clunk as she clambers down and sets the wooden container in a distant part of the room. You all can head
Okay.
off.
Okay. We'll head back home then.
I'd rather just stay around the guardians. I may want to speak with them again. Find a nice place around here to chat. It doesn't seem like we have much time, and I would, if possible, I would much rather let her live through legal means.
Oh boy.
Milady
So
nods.
should we go to like a tavern then? And discuss somewhere nearby?
That will suffice.
Okay, you can certainly do so. You'll head into probably the first decent tavern you see, and you get a small table, a couple of silver for drinks.
Yeah.
We'll discuss.
Oh boy.
I
Yeah.
really like her, but isn't it going to be a little suspicious that free her right after we
Well-
went and saw her?
Well, the thing is that
Yes.
the guards that led us back there were doing so because they were bribed. I don't think they would like to admit that they let strangers in without proper paperwork, and it was them that caused the prisoner to be broken out.
I would
Good
certainly
point.
prefer to leave a prison break as a last resort. It does seem that if the information she has isn't valuable, it may be worth the damage she will cause if she's let out, but it is always preferable to go through legal channels if possible. Perhaps I can speak with the lieutenant and see reason, or whoever else is in charge of this trial.
But then if you speak with them and then they say no, and then she still gets out, see anywhere where we're not implicated in that.
Unless
If me
someone is able
speaking
to
in my best interest leads them to implicate me, then they are not worthy words of justice. And
I
I
don't
will
care.
resist.
It's not that simple. If you go to speak to them, then you need an alibi if we break her out. Either whoever speaks to the lieutenant has to be disguised, or whoever speaks to him can't be a part of a breakout if it comes to that.
Yeah.
Hmm. Well, I would rather not be involved in such action anyway, but I do not fear these guardsmen.
I mean, I'm okay with helping break her out if it needs to come to that. At this point, how long has it been? Has my disguise self dropped?
Well, you have Mask of Many Faces, so you can do it as many times as you like.
Oh, I didn't know if it used spell slots. Okay, I'm just keeping it up.
No, Mask of Many Faces is infinite.
Oh, cool. Infinite.
Got it forever.
Uh,
Bow
well, I'm gonna say, I don't mind helping her get out if we need to do that. It would make sense for you to talk to the authorities, and maybe Orentha and I could do what we need to do elsewhere if it's necessary.
Yeah, I think that trying to convince a bureaucracy to let the prisoner out is. There's too many steps for it to go right, I feel like.
Not
I
let
agree.
her out, stay the sentence, bring her within our reach.
I mean, maybe so at the trial, will she have a lawyer representative? Maybe we could pay for like a really good lawyer instead of just a public defender for her, and then we could get her out legally.
Can we roll for legal
Do I have
advice?
any sense of the legal
You can
system? That
certainly-
is something
yeah,
that I
you
had
can-
wanted to look into.
I would say that would be a history check, because there's not really.
So I'll help Sirenixia.
Well,
Oh,
my research in that seems to have gone poorly as well.
Milady, Orentha. Ooh.
But I did mean
I
to.
will consider this.
Yay!
yay.
So, Milady. Orentha, you have no fucking clue.
Yeah. What else is new?
What? Like, it's a trial. Sirenixia, you're not really sure how they do it, but you know that there's a lot of different systems present. Like, there are trials where people swear oaths and give evidence. There are trials by battle and ordeal. There are trials by evidence. It's all sorts of things.
Yeah.
Milady, you know that in Guavira, the trials tend to be bureaucratic affairs. It's not something where people are coming and speaking. It is sort of the end part of a long strain of investigation. So people will have given evidence before. So, for example, when you all came into port, you gave a statement to the police. That will be written down and considered by the magistrate, along with any statement that Price had given. Any evidence will be considered, it's very much a review of the documents that happens. There's not, and Guavira does not have a formalized opportunity for certainly doesn't have a public defender, and there's not a formalized opportunity to have someone speak on your behalf at that time. Although you can certainly hire legal officials who would be able to uh, understand how to give the best evidence and which evidence the tribunal would end up considering and which of them they wouldn't. Because the biggest problem is a lot of the evidence that you might seek to put in your favor might be thrown out on procedural grounds, but you would never know that had happened because you don't get to be in the room when it does.
Yes.
Okay, so I would say based on that, legally, I don't think there's anything that we could do, considering they've probably reviewed most of the evidence already.
I think we have to book her out.
I'm okay with breaking her out.
I still wish to speak with this lieutenant.
You can be the diversion while we break her out.
That's a great idea. Is there any way we can disguise Sirenixia so it's not like the distraction lives with us?
I am not going to disguise myself when I speak with the lieutenant. I will speak with her, and I will impress upon her the importance of this matter.
Oh,
Milady,
I
And
don't
I
see
intend
that
to make
do you
her
have any
see.
thoughts about this?
Her ears are kind of flapping gently.
Okay.
Why do we need this woman's information?
We were hired about 2 weeks ago on a mission to rescue a crew from some pirates. And while we were there, we discovered that these pirates had gotten into some dark and dangerous rituals. Some sort of agreement with a powerful draconic entity. They had been transforming into monsters, and it seemed that this creature was near coming to the surface. A powerful entity that would cause much harm. A creature called Bakrimanthis, the Whispering One. And so we spoke, and this Price was one of the pirates that was against them. And she worked with us, but she was a pirate, so we brought her back for justice. Now she has claimed that she knows more information about this Bakrimanthis. And if that information will help us stop this powerful evil. It may be worth the lesser damages caused by letting the pirate free.
Milady sort of nods slowly. I see.
Have you any thoughts on this matter?
I think the best thing to do is speak to the lieutenant.
So would. So it seems like we're a bit split. Do you think that speaking to the lieutenant should be done as a distraction, or
No.
or
I will do it now. I will give it every chance to succeed.
But what happens if you don't? I mean, I don't see a situation where this is successful.
Our loyalty is towards Jambus.
is that a
Nothing we
mic?
do can put. Pardon?
Alright, hello.
It's
Trindak walks up as you're discussing this.
he just happens to notice us from across the bar.
Oh, hi. I was busy getting drunk.
Sorry, I was eating
Oh,
myself.
you know, you gotta drink sometimes.
This place has great Cheez-Its.
Crumpets.
So Milady, I'm sorry, you were saying something.
Our loyalty is to
Milady
John.
sort of stands up and makes room for Trindak so he can sit further in. Our loyalty is toward Jambus. Jambus has hired us. We have given and pledged our loyalty to him. Our jobs here are merely so that he may. The only reason we are here is because Jambus has no need of us. Anything we do that, even if it not be legal, our loyalties are towards him. I suspect there may be more information in this city that has nothing to do with Ice's information.
Jambus is a secondary concern. We have taken his coin, we have agreed to work for him. He has not given us any explicit statements that we should not act as we see fit outside of our time in his direct employ.
Sirenixia just kind of, Milady levels Sirenixia with this look and basically says, I did not say that Jambus is asking us to do anything outside of his job. I said our loyalty is towards him. If you are taking his coin, you have pledged to be a part of his family.
I have pledged to follow his instructions and protect him when it is required of me. That I will do.
I am not telling you what to do, Sirenixia. I am saying, in my opinion, what is correct.
Very well.
Hey, I can see Jack, but not Mike. Whoa.
Yeah, I lost Emily and Derek.
I lost Jack.
I just lost Jack and Mike.
I've not seen Jack in pretty much ever.
Ooh, I think I'm good. No. Yeah, okay, I have Emily now.
I'm just missing Mike.
Yeah.
Mike and Derek.
Is Mike still there?
No.
He doesn't seem to be.
Nope.
Nope.
He seems to be gone.
He seems to be gone.
Beer.
So it is my firm opinion that if breaking out this price is going to endanger our status here in Gulvira, and by extension, Jambus's good name, there is no reason for us to be doing it. This Bakrimanthis, if it is large enough and important enough, will have others who know of it.
I do not think you understand the nature of these dark and ancient evils. They sit and
I
lay
am much
silent.
more aware of this world than you can guess.
I didn't hear that. Sorry. Could you repeat?
I am am much more aware of this world than you can guess.
Before we have gotten
Then enlighten us.
by dozens of people, if we can prevent something like that from happening, isn't it worth our reputation?
I didn't hear what you said, Emily. Sorry.
Oh, dang it.
You were
That
too far away.
That pirate captain had sacrificed dozens of people. If we can prevent something like that happening again, isn't that worth our reputation?
If they are part of our family, then yes. Otherwise, we cannot endanger our family to save strangers. DM, in my 275 years on this world, would I have any ideas of who Bakrimanthis is, who would know more about Bakrimanthis, who would be aware of the dark arts, etc.?
What languages do you speak?
Loxodon in common.
Okay. I'm going to say that you can make
But we do have a helm of comprehend languages.
Yes, but that was more as a proxy for
Okay, just
things you
double
might have read. You can make either an Arcana or a History check.
Very well. I will make.
At disadvantage.
Okay, that's fine.
Because this is obscure. Okay.
Wow.
So the name, the structure of the name rings a bell. It sounds like the names that you have heard of dragons in the past. In the sense that it has that certain cadence and it seems to be in a draconic form. And you have heard of dragons before devastating the land, and you've heard a few of their names in your time. But what sticks with you as they explain sort of what they had heard and what they know about her is that moniker of she who dreams beneath.
Okay.
You haven't heard the phrase itself, but you have heard stories of strange beings that live in a world of dreams, a world that exists sort of just next to our own. And you have heard that over the ages there were certain beings who had learned to move between that world and this, either to experience their dreams as if they were real, or to escape the dreams of others. But that's a very general understanding of things you've heard about the subject. You're not so sure if that connects to her specifically. That's just what you have heard. You think that you might be able that if you had a little bit more specific information that you were looking for, you might be able to do a little bit better.
As in, like, specific information, as if I was thinking of a specific question? Or if I
Both
wanted
that
to do
and
research?
if you had additional information about her, you could sort of narrow your recollection because you're sort of like thinking, over the last couple centuries, what can I recall?
Okay, and then just
It
for
needs to
my
focus the mind
player
a bit.
knowledge, did you say she's a dragon, or that her name sounds like a
I
Her
said the
name-
name seems to be that of one of a true dragon, but you also know that beings have taken on the names that are not dragons in the past. It just is definitely a draconic name,
Very well.
and it's not a dragonborn name.
Okay.
I spaced out for a hot sec. What's this in reference to?
This is Milady thinking about what she knows about someone like Bakrimanthis. Because she's lived almost 300 years.
Okay, thanks.
She old.
These powers,
Sorry,
they
there's
sit
loud
and wait,
noises.
quietly building. The sooner that they can be squashed, the sooner that their path to power is put an end, the less harm they cause. And while your commitment to family is admirable, my concern is for the greater good.
Then
Greater good, I am your wife. I am the greatest good you're ever gonna get.
The
Milady,
public is in danger.
My evening is in danger.
The name is
um,
draconic. It may not be a true dragon necessarily, just someone who has taken that name. And I believe there are links to the world of dreams. What information can
Milady,
Christ possibly give you? Yes, Orentha.
Milady, how long have you known Jambus to consider him your family or a relationship you want to protect?
For about as long as he's been giving me coin. But in my culture, when you cook for someone, they become your family.
What if you were to cook for us?
I have been.
Well, if we were on a mission to find out more about Bakrimanthis, would you assist us over Jambus? Would you be willing to come with us?
I would need to speak to Jambus first. And to consult my own inclinations.
Okay, we're gonna need some decisions about what y'all are doing.
Stop
for
talking.
this No, you can continue talking. I'm just saying that I say probably the scene will probably wrap up on that, and come evening or
Well,
morning.
I intend to, once this is over, go speak with the lieutenant.
As do
Okay,
I.
okay? So
Yeah, I don't think we can stop them.
Hang out with Orentha and not do that.
Yeah,
Okay.
let's drink in a bar.
Yeah.
I'll go right back
Oh,
with you.
Agate, do you want to maybe send Jasper with Sirenixia and Milady to see what they're saying?
Okay. Would
Just in case.
Sirenixia and Milady be good with me doing that, do you think? Or should I be sneaky?
I think
If you would like
you
to
asked.
listen in on our conversation, I would not be
Two.
opposed to it.
I certainly have nothing to hide.
I'm going to take Jasper and give him a kiss and put him in like one of Sirenixia's like side bags, presuming you have one.
Just in case anything goes wrong, we can maybe intervene.
Okay.
Do I have side bags?
I mean, not there's kind of one main bag. But
Alright,
there's
whatever.
some pockets in there that Jasper can.
Okay.
There's a
So
drink pouch on the side.
the two tall people set off towards the
Do
stockade.
fanny pack success?
Oh my god!
So I guess Orentha is continuing her day drinking.
Meditating.
Indeed.
And
Agate, are
Is that
possibly
what
you
they're
so
calling
is
it now?
Trindak.
in
If you
Jasper?
read my order on the wiki, it is what I guess.
Okay.
I'm
Agate,
going
are you
to...
and Jasper for this?
Well, I'm gonna sit down next to Orentha at the table, and while she's drinking, I'm gonna hold her hand, and periodically send to Jasper.
Okay. Are you drinking as well, or are you just?
I'm like having a couple sips, but I don't understand why people like this.
Orentha will order Agate a Shirley.
You will do so. Sirenixia and Milady, you can return in relatively short order to the doors of the stockade. Bless you.
Sorry. It's gonna happen once more probably, but not now. Thank you.
And you see that it's been over an hour now. The guard has changed at the door.
Okay.
And there are just two women standing there.
I wish to speak with the lieutenant.
We wish to speak with the lieutenant.
It is a matter of significant importance
Do you
to the city.
have an appointment?
I
No,
believe he was
there was
expecting
not
us.
time.
Sorry, was it a he or she?
She.
Okay, I believe she was expecting us.
She looks between you and Sirenixia as you have both said opposite things.
I would
Oh
not
man.
call it an appointment, but I would be very surprised if she was not expecting us.
Uh-huh. And who should I say she is expecting?
Milady of Jambus's establishment.
She sort of furrows her brow when you say Milady. Okay. And you?
I am Sirenixia.
Uh-huh. She turns around, opens the door, walks in, closes the door. You hear some muffled conversation inside. If you would like to make a perception check, try to listen in, you can. But otherwise,
I forget what it was called, but I believe I was grabbing something about like people building my character to build my. I'll find out later, and it just won't count for now. But
you hear you're not able to hear Milady due to the muffling of the walls, but Sirenixia, you cradle your orbital, and you just sort of your lieutenant. There's like a dragonborn and an elephant here for you. She says she's a lady, and she says we should call her my lady. Uh, I don't know any of the families that have an elephant like that. Well, not like an elephant, but like an elephant person. I know that they might have an elf. Okay. Door opens. She says, "All right, come on in."
Thank you.
She will lead you
I will
in
let
through the door.
Sirenixia go first.
Okay.
Um,
Um,
and she will beckon you to your right. You see that one of the cells has had its bars replaced with just this oaken door. And she opens it and ushers you in. Sitting at the desk there is a woman with dirty blonde hair that is cropped short all over, so it's maybe just like an inch and a half long, and sort of shaggy. She has a she has chainmail on, and you see the mark her number of the watch. She is number 43, and you see again that darker green coloration that you're beginning to associate with the prison guards.
okay.
And you see also draped over the back of her chair is this what was probably once a bright scarlet cloak, but has been worn and weathered quite a bit.
And does that have significance?
43.
Is that I feel like is that the color of the people that go outside, or is that?
You can make a history check.
Darn it!
You don't know.
Greetings.
Yes.
We are
Thank you.
I'm here on behalf of Captain Price, I believe.
It's not a
Yeah,
captain.
I. So who are you? The
I
guard
am.
said you were a lady.
No, my name is Milady because my proper name is much too long and difficult for anyone to remember, let alone pronounce.
I'm Sirenixia, exile of Argentat.
I see.
I was one of the members that brought Crescent men.
Okay. This is about
Recall.
Price.
This is
Yes.
about Price, the prisoner set for a trial tomorrow.
Okay, hold on. She goes and flips through. You see there are some cupboards inside. She pulls them open and flips through. Okay, pulls out a folder. It's sort of bound with string on the front. She pulls it all open and flips through and says, "Okay, prisoner by the name of Price,
Yes.
accused of piracy, murder, and blasphemy. Is that accurate?"
I don't know about the blasphemy, but certainly the piracy and murder, yes.
says that she was associated with some sort of a cult.
Yes.
It was filed under blasphemy.
She was unwillingly forced to participate in the cult action. She resisted and helped us
Okay,
fight
I'm
that.
seeing that you've given a statement here before. Is there something that you want to add to your statement for the trial?
It has come to my attention that Price has certain information that may be very important to the security of this city and its inhabitants. I do not know if I mentioned this in my statement, but this cult was worshipping some creature, the Bakrimanthis, one who dreams deep, and Price may have vital information
What the
in
hell are you
finding.
doing?
I'm making tea. Would
No,
you like
no,
some?
no, you're not. What? What? This is an office in a prison.
Yes,
Why do you have
and
a stove?
it's very small.
No, you cannot light a fire in my office. Get that the fuck out of here.
Milady sort of looks at her and slowly puts it away but keeps the tea stuff out.
God,
I will make myself cold
fucking
tea. Would you like some
civilians.
Sirenixia?
No, thank you.
Very well. Lieutenant?
Is this what it's like in civilian life?
No, actually.
Regrettably,
It is
often yes.
significantly crazier, which is why I require tea.
I like
You were
that.
saying siren
Sirenixia.
Sirenixia? Yeah, that. You were saying?
I was saying that these cultists were worshipping a powerful entity named Bakrimanthis, and Christ may have information vital to finding and stopping this evil before it causes great harm to the city. And it would be very unfortunate if a trial tomorrow would lead to her death before such information can be found.
Okay. I mean, she's been interrogated. We asked her about, is here you got the information about the crew she was working with, any likelies, any missing persons. Got her swearing at us a bunch. I don't think she really wants to talk anymore,
She did not wish to talk to you. She
Lieutenant,
has.
but she'll talk to you.
Milady kind of places a hand on Sirenixia's arm and says, Lieutenant, she is holding the information ransom for her release. I would suggest that you release her. We get our information. And then she can be executed.
Oh, you would suggest I release her?
I would.
Temporarily to our custody.
You lady, you would suggest that the guards release this pirate.
To our custody.
Happening. I'm gonna briefly vamp into my body in the bar and be like, guys, it is not going well. We're gonna have to break her out of jail. And then go back to Jasper, and that's it.
Ah,
Orentha and Trindak are
suggesting-
just playing flip cup.
I'm suggesting you release her into our custody as employees and members of squads, partially cleanup crews and partially higher levels. We have paperwork. I certainly have paperwork.
Okay, but I think you misunderstand about what those sort of squads do.
No.
You're not guards.
No,
You do jobs for the guards.
correct. But I am more
So
than
let a
capable
guard
of
come
killing
with
a
us.
human.
I assume you
Squints
have
her eyes at
someone
you.
among you that
Are you
is.
attempting to intimidate her?
No, I'm just
Okay.
playing
sort of
it
looks at you
straight.
for a
I
minute.
did actually, believe. Would they have taken our swords and stuff before we walked in?
No, they didn't take
No.
it
Okay.
because the guards at the front door are not tremendously competent.
Okay.
I like this
Milady,
lieutenant though. She seems actually competent.
That's a bad thing for us.
It's a mix.
May I ultimately It seems that there is information that Price may have that she will only share with us when she believes she is safe. We do not require that
And
you let her go unattended. If you have any member of your rank that can be subtle, they can certainly join us. Keep watch on what we do.
and how do you know that she has this information?
She may not, in which case she will die all the sooner. Because we
I
won't live to
will
talk to her.
hand over the note. We received this morning. It is no guarantee that she has this information, but if she does not have the information you request, it will be simple enough between the
Okay,
many of
so
us
you're
to
saying
apprehend
that
her and return her to you.
so you're saying that the day before this this woman is probably gonna die, she suddenly comes out with some special information that only you can get, and she'll only tell you if you let her out of prison, right? That's what I'm getting from this.
I
Huh?
agree. It is extremely suspect.
You must think I'm a fucking idiot. I'm not,
I. You have.
and if I'm not, you are. You're not letting her out of prison. Listen, if you have a credible reason to believe that she knows something that she hasn't told us that is actually worth the effort, then we'll send her for intense interrogation. We'll call in one of the Tranquil and we'll have them look into it. But we're not releasing some pirate. There's a whole hell of a lot. First of all, that's above my pay grade. I can't do that. I'm not a magistrate. I'm just the gal in charge of the prison.
Is there a magistrate we could speak to?
I'm sure there is.
I did not mean to aggravate you. It is simply that this is an opportunity that I would not wish to miss. Yes, it seems far-fetched, I agree. But we have apprehended her in the past. We brought her to you. We have no intention of letting her go. But if you... Is there anything that could change your mind?
Make a persuasion check.
And at this point, Milady is sort of bringing out sweets and distributing them.
She looks at you like you've lost your fucking mind.
Oh, I'm not bringing the elephant on any more missions like this.
Um, she says, "Okay, listen. I appreciate what you did for bringing her in. It's very helpful. And it wasn't even on a job for us, so you didn't have to do it. And of course, the guard thanks you for all your services." And you feel as if she's reading off a script now. It's people like you that enable Govira to function as it should.
What is that cloak you have behind
She
your
sort of pauses and
chair
Sirenixia,
says,
there?
let the woman finish.
It's a nice...
"This
It's
cloak," and she pulls up and says, "This cloak means that number one, I know what I'm fucking doing, and I've been on a tour outside the defenses enough to know what's what. And number two, it means that I'm the fuck up who landed in this duty."
Then you know what dangers are out there. You know what might happen if there was some powerful creature to come out. And if someone hears that you were the one that got that information that led to some powerful threat no longer attacking the city, might that get you out of this place?
Listen, I stuck my neck out once, and it got me here. I'm not really inclined to do that again. I'd like to stay in the guards. Thanks very much. But listen, I'll put a note in the file for the magistrate when they look it over, and I'll take down everything you said, and if they think it's important, then they'll call in one of the Tranquil. But
She won't
I
talk to
can't.
the Tranquil.
Oh, the Tranquil don't talk. If the Tranquil go in to see her, then they'll get what they need.
Madam Lieutenant, I agree with you. You are looking to protect both your position and those whom you respect. I would merely like to say one final word in case that helps you to either solidify your decision or change it.
Okay.
I am, by the measure of a human life, very old. And in this time I have had some time in which not only to learn things of which I'm interested in, but also to read things in which I'm not particularly. The name Bakrimanthis is of draconic origin and has something to do with what I assure you sounds strange even to me, to a world of dreams. If this woman, Price, was a part of a cult that had anything to do with the worship of it, and if she is willing, even in an easy way, to give that information, I would like to get it in a way that does not necessarily send panic into the hearts of judges and guards. Not that guards would ever be so cowardly as to have fear struck into their hearts, but
Uh-huh.
it may be simpler to let her believe that she is getting what she wants without necessarily making her realize that it will therefore be brought to the attention of the entire bureaucracy of Guvira. I have every faith in the Tranquil Guards.
Make a persuasion check.
Has she tasted my cookie? It's a
No.
really good cookie.
I know it is, but she doesn't really like you.
This is fair.
She doesn't like most people, honestly. She says, this is so over my head.
I believe you. Would it be
Then
simpler for you if we went to speak to one of your superiors? I know you have a very difficult time.
Her eyes narrow. Say, no, it really wouldn't be simpler. You just get a much nicer door shut in your face.
Very well. Thank you for your time.
Wait,
Yes.
she can't leave the prison,
Of course not.
but can try it your way.
Is there any way in which we could make her believe she has left the prison?
Listen, what we can do is I can walk in there with the key, I can shackle her, and I can open the door. And there can be guards standing nearby. And then you can say to her what you like and try to convince her that she's been sprung. But anything more than that, it just has way too big a chance of fucking me over again.
Of course.
So if you got something you can do to make her think that, then great. But I'm no magician, and well, good luck.
Thank you. Is
might
it all right with you if we return with our compatriots?
How many people are you gonna bring into my prison?
not more than 5.
Total.
Oh, good. Fine.
Is there
But you're
might
leaving
we
the
have
swords at the door.
might we
Which
have
my guards will be smart enough to confiscate next time.
I I did mean to say, but it didn't seem right, that Milady did leave her sword not at the door of the prison, but at least at the door to the lieutenant's office.
Okay.
I would be
Go on, your
doubtful if
friends.
Christ would believe that we had sprung her without weapons.
Sirenixia, let the lieutenant do her job. Thank you,
I
Madam
intend to
Lieutenant.
let.
And
To
Milady's
bamf
getting up
back
and leaving.
out of Jasper to everyone at the table. Have to fight people, but I feel like we're still gonna have to fight people, but they're trying their best. I'm gonna bamf back into Jasper.
Wait, what?
I have a great respect for someone as dedicated to their duty as be, and I am sorry to hear that your attempts to better society have led you to this place. I wish you no harm or ill favor, but it would be helpful if you could please direct me to the magistrate. I will not mention you if you would not like to be mentioned. The worst that will happen is I will have a fancy door closed in my face.
If you want to talk to him, it says it's Magistrate Purcell in office 11.
And where might that be located, do you know?
Um, she sort of looks around and pulls out her handy dandy map of the city. Says it's towards the center. It's in the main ink stained offices.
I am very appreciative of your time. Thank you. I understand how difficult it is to be in your situation. And I wish you the best.
Yeah, great. Well, if you're gonna do this whole thing, gotta do it in the next hour and a half because I'm going off duty then, and I'm not letting that fuck up let anyone in or out. So best hurry up.
Could we come later? I heard you had a shift this evening.
How did you hear that?
You spoke to the guards.
Oh my god, they're giving out shift times now. Sure, come tonight. Bring your friends. Maybe bring some dip. We'll
Would you
have a
like dip?
party.
I can make dip.
No, I don't want dip. No.
What is your
Just
favorite
just
food, please? You
go.
seem like you need.
Please, just
I will send
just
you a care
Thank you
package.
come.
for your time.
Goodbye.
I the door's gonna be locked after 10 o'clock tonight, so best not be after then.
What would you like in
Thank
your
you.
care package?
No, I don't
I will.
want a care.
I really
Milady, let us go. We are not wanted here any longer.
death glare at Sirenixia.
Do you follow, though?
Yeah, I was
Okay.
standing up in front of the door anyway, like I was ready to go.
Okay.
Yeah, you head out.
Okay.
The two guards sort of look at you like as you guys walk through.
Thank you.
R.I.P. Guards.
Okay, so when you rejoin the group,
Has Agate told us what happened broadly in that meantime?
Yeah, I have told you what I've told you so far, but I'm gonna bamf back and be like, they're coming back now.
So
With you guys for a bit.
so what are the odds that we're gonna have to like fight some people tonight?
Okay. Pick a number between 1 and 2.
Can it be a decimal point number? 1.5.
Fight people tonight.
Okay. Drink.
okay, Orentha's getting drunk.
Flip.
Flip.
So, you all will return and presumably convey the proposal.
I'm gonna be honest, that doesn't seem very hopeful.
It's better than we had before. I would still like to speak with the magistrate. Perhaps it would be better if I spoke to them alone, milady.
Drop.
Maria, are you there? Can you hear things?
What? Sorry.
Okay.
I'm watching butterflies. I'm intensely thinking about care packages and what to make for this poor lieutenant.
I would like to try to speak with the magistrate before this evening.
My personal thoughts are that Captain Price can have no real information. However, I will go with the vote of the majority.
I think
Can I make a retroactive insight check with like some disadvantage? Like sense
On
how
Price.
truthful Price was being?
Okay. You can make a... Yeah, because you probably would have been able to at the time. Sure.
Okay.
Can more than one person do
Yeah.
that?
I would,
Yeah. Say two people
Orentha,
can.
I'd say you, and I'll just help you. We'll say that. Because I'm really bad at actually being insightful.
You know that she's a pirate and a scumbag and probably a liar, but she didn't seem to be lying at the time. You're not sure it's quite as tremendously useful as she seems to imply, but she definitely believes that she has information. And when she said that she knew where he went crazy, that seemed like it was true.
I think she was telling the truth. And it may not be earth-shattering knowledge, but it's something to start with. And we have nothing now. We have absolutely nothing.
Then it seems this is an opportunity we can hardly let pass.
I don't think she's gonna buy us pretending that she's going to be let out. She's not gonna tell us anything until we have her on a boat leaving the city.
And perhaps not even then.
Perhaps not even.
If she did not follow through with her word, I have no qualms treating her as I did her fellow companion.
Perhaps she. So, since the captain was a pirate, we can assume that wherever he went crazy was not in Guavira. It was somewhere likely on an island. Maybe she can take us. Maybe she can be more useful than just giving us some knowledge. Isn't that worth breaking her out?
Do we know anyone that would know her or would have this information? Other than her?
They're dead.
You did kill all her
Wait,
friends.
no. We spared the Captain Jenny's boyfriend.
Mm-hmm. That's true. You never interrogated him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what he would know would be anything he saw while he was captured.
Yeah.
So
Which
he
would
wouldn't
not.
know where.
You don't know what he knows.
Maybe we could go check in on Jenny's boyfriend and see if he knows anything.
Did Jenny. Because she got the ship that wasn't damaged. Would we know if she's still in the city? Jack?
You would need to you would need to look around or ask. You don't know yourself. You don't even know that they're not together anymore.
Yeah.
What? Wait, they broke up?
No one reads my.
I read it, honey. Yeah, they broke up.
Wait, they broke up. Oh my god. Wait, I'm so sad.
We need to find out what happened.
This is why no one reads my fan fiction.
I'm sorry.
Well, now they're all suffering for it. Nope, you have no idea.
I think she has valuable information, and I think we need to do what it takes to get it. That's my opinion on it.
Perhaps you could... Milady, go ahead.
Agate, what is your opinion?
My opinion, that it's good of us to try to get Price out of jail without violence, but I don't think that the way to do it is through bureaucracy, but rather trickery. Escape. I don't think that we are going to get what we want from this, but at this point they already know that we're interested in freedom, so I don't see a way where this doesn't get linked back to Jambus.
Very well. Trindak?
I don't know.
Do you have a
I don't
preference
really
whether or not we
know what
become
you're
fugitives?
talking about. I don't think we should do the bad thing.
He's
That's
been
probably
losing
a
at
good
Flip Cup.
idea.
He's been losing at Flip Cup. He's not.
We
Just out of curiosity.
definitely should not. We shouldn't kill these people.
I'm gonna give
What's
Trindak some water.
Maybe some more peanuts or something.
Yeah, some like Chex Mix.
Soak it up.
On a meta level, is Jambra likely to come on any of these adventures, or are we pretty much on our own?
If you convince Jamra to listen, Jamra is there as a character. Like there is, in a meta sense, he will do whatever he would do.
Okay.
He is not barred from being there just because he is my character.
Right. He said he wanted to go see a dwarf, so I wasn't sure how you wanted to handle it.
Yeah, he's off running errands right now, but you could certainly try to find him or wait till he gets back home.
Okay. I'm just thinking because if we wanted
Firepower
or magic users.
I don't think that he would be
I would
particularly
say-
inclined to help break a pirate out of jail.
I would say he'd take a lot of convincing to let her out,
Mhm.
and that
We
would
can't
probably
even
be
convince the
predicated
five of
on.
us.
And that would probably be predicated on you all killing her after she was no longer useful.
Which is what Milady has been saying for forever.
Which is what?
Milady has been saying, like, let the woman believe she's coming out of jail, and then as soon as we get our information, just kill her.
Such sentiment would likely arise surprised respect from Jamra.
Unless we have like a bazooka and are pointing it at the boat she's using to sail away into the sunset after she gives us the information, I don't think we're gonna be able to kill her and get the information.
Jester just got Dimension Door, and I was like, we have Dimension Door. One of us can Dimension Door in, one of us can kill her. Like,
Dimension door out.
And 1v1
Actually, what level is Dimension
this
Door?
pirate.
The third or fourth level?
Third, I think.
So in theory, Agate could have Dimension Door, but probably...
Take a dimension door. Let's see. No, that's not an option for me as a warlock. Is an option for me as a tiefling?
No. Do you have Thunderstep?
Don't have
Oh, do Warlocks not get Dimension Door? That's sad. I feel like...
Misty
They
Step.
have their own little spell.
They have Misty
Misty Step is
Step.
There's
good.
Misty Step.
It doesn't let you
It's
take
a fourth
passive
level
moves.
spell. Dimension Door is a fourth level spell.
It's also a harsh penalty. It's a harsh cost for a warlock.
Yeah.
They don't get very many spells.
that's fair.
Yeah.
The Dimension Door can be very
Spell we do get, Jack. The best one.
That's true. You get the best one.
Ooh, you get blight. Banishment?
No.
Oh my god.
Well, powerful spells. They
Eldritch
just have very few of them.
Eldritch blade.
Blast.
Yeah. So what are
Eldritch
people doing? We need to reach a decision.
Would you
We
like to
haven't reached
see
a
if you can
decision.
find any information on? Speak with the first mate that we rescued, see if he has any useful information, and I can speak with the magistrate.
That seems reasonable to me.
Okay.
Okay.
Are the three of you going anywhere or helping out with this or doing anything during that time?
Yeah, why don't Milady and Sirenixia go to the magistrate and the rest of us can go find first mate?
Perhaps I could visit the magistrate on my own. Milady,
No,
you have
I
not
believe
yet met
I
with the
believe
cap.
it is more useful for you to have a
It's
second person
okay.
there.
I mean, he can go. If you want, I could come with you, or I'll just send Jasper again. I think that worked really well in linking our two groups together.
Yeah, just to keep everyone updated.
I think
And in
that's a good
case
idea.
anyone gets in trouble.
Yeah.
So I'm going to. So then we should only split into two groups so that we can stay in contact. Some of us are going to the magistrate, and then some of us are going to go find the first mate.
Well, I think those who believe in the cause of talking to the magistrate should go to the magistrate. And that seems to be about 2 people.
I don't believe in the cause of talking to a magistrate.
Yeah.
Okay. So are Sirenixia and Milady going to the magistrate?
Yes.
Jasper in the fanny pack.
Okay. You two head off. The three of you. How are you trying to find the first mate?
Yeah. I'm gonna vanish briefly for a
Um,
quick break. I will return.
well, Jambus was a friend of Jenny's,
Mm-hmm.
so maybe Jambus knows where we can find Jenny?
Sure. You can go and speak with Jambus, and he will gladly direct you and say, "Oh, Jenny is probably working on her new ship, or trying to put together a crew. She would likely be down at the docks."
Docks.
Hearthfire District.
Hearthfire District, we go.
Okay. You three can head over. You've been walking back and forth across town. It's probably the afternoon now. You'll get in there and
Getting
you
our
see there
10,000 steps
the
in.
wharves that head out over the bay, and then behind that uh, there are the warehouses. You see the damaged second best in dry dock up on one area, and you also see the sleek hull of the Inheritor, or which was the ship that you guys had captured. Although now it seems to have been renamed. The last two letters have been stricken from the hull, and it now reads the Inherited.
It's not as good as the ball eater.
Fuck you. And you will be able to, after a little bit of asking around, find out that the captain is seeing to things below deck. And a few minutes later, you see the shape of Captain Jenny Harker striding over the deck. Her face seems to have evened out a little bit. She is now wearing a patch over her ruined right eye, and she has her naval coat back on. It seems like she has that it's had a little bit of care put into it, and the damage that you saw before has been carefully sewn and patched, and it looks pretty good. The buttons are all burnished. She's walking around on deck, and when she sees you, her face lights up a little bit, and she smiles and shouts out to you, "Hooey! How are you all doing? I haven't seen you two in quite a while."
There's 3 of us here.
"I haven't
Hi!
seen you three in quite a while." No, she would say, "I haven't seen you two in quite a while," because she doesn't recognize Agate.
No, because
Guys,
In the
Agate's
chat.
just disguised.
In the chat, it
I
says.
well,
Oh
Jack.
shit! I don't notice this. I didn't notice the chat. You're
Wow,
right.
Jack. Okay, yeah, I'm back to Agate.
Okay. I will greet the three of you. Say, how are the three of you doing? I haven't seen you in a few weeks.
Great. Yeah.
We were wondering
Good.
we were wondering if your boyfriend knew any more information about the like weird culty stuff that was happening.
My
Red,
boy.
your first mate.
We were never really like together like that.
I didn't mean to assume. I'm
No,
sorry.
I mean, we were
it
like,
seemed like you really
but
only cared about him out of
that
so it.
is a harsh but accurate.
Yeah.
Sounds like a mess.
That is
Yeah.
a good thing to say. Well, that's when
Workplace
that's what
relationships.
happens when you're on a ship for a long time, and the upstairs doesn't always control the downstairs.
The top level of your ship and the bottom level of your ship
Yeah,
are controlled by it.
That's what.
Sometimes,
Yeah.
what's a
No,
good way
you
to
don't
put
have
it?
to. You don't have to do that.
The
It's okay. Just we get
I
it.
don't know what
the
that
current
means.
moves the ship, and the tiller sort of flips in vain.
Oh boy.
I don't get it.
I think
No,
I need
I'm
to
sorry,
learn
this is a
more
mixed
about
metaphor.
ships.
Sort of looks you up and down and says, "Maybe."
I think I do. I don't know much about ships.
Red left the crew a couple weeks ago. He said that after his experience, he wasn't really with me anymore.
Ship wasn't interested in sailing with your ship, or like he wasn't interested in sailing on your ship.
Both would be appropriate interpretations,
Is,
I suppose.
is
I
he-
didn't know if we were doing the metaphor thing anymore.
Both of those things were true.
Is he? Do you know where he is? He might have some information. Not to be insensitive, but we have things.
I mean, I don't know particularly, but I know he's. I know what he would normally do when he would come into port. He would always get a nice room at a decent inn. He liked, good feather beds because he just had hammocks when he was on the ship. And he'd get some wine, and he always liked to not to drink away the time, but he liked to have a good time and make friends. He always said he had a friend in every port. Yeah, he's probably at one of the bars, like a decent one with a decent upstairs, a decent sleeping area.
This analogy, out of character, this analogy is my favorite.
Yeah. I can ask some of the crew that are still around who might have been friends with him if you need to know.
We can also ask them.
Yeah,
No
that
need
might
to be,
best.
have you asking around about your ex.
Yep.
I can tell you're really comfortable with this conversation. Do you know like how
That's
much
me.
gunpowder does a ship have on it? 'Cause
Um, she just immediately relaxes a little bit. She says, "Well, you'd have a quite a bit depending on it depends if it's carrying it in the hold or if it's just for the its own guns. But if it is for its own guns, then that depends on how many decks you have. You know, a
Makes
normal
sense.
like a galley like this just has the one main gun deck, but and then a hold below. But and of course the sleeping and storage quarters. But you know, for a ship of the line, they could be triple deckers. I've heard of quadruple deckers before, but I never seen one
Hey,
personally
hey,
myself.
Jenny, do you know those guns on the ship? Do you maybe have like smaller handheld versions of
Oh, you
those
mean a pistol?
devices? Yeah. Do you have a pistol?
Um, I mean, I have my pistol.
Can I buy it off you?
Um, I don't know that I don't know if it's something I'm really looking to sell.
You know where they sell them generally?
I really don't. You know, I was issued it. It was part of my kit when I became a captain in Motogame.
Oh, really? You were a
Hmm.
captain in Motogame? What are you doing all the way up here?
Ah, you know, I spent about 10 years in the service and then it just it was time to go. Um, you couldn't really have a normal or comfortable life like that. And I loved I loved sailing and captaining a real ship. You know, I had a two-decker ship of the line. I sailed hunting pirates, protecting trade, did some battles with skirmishes really with the Carlobites, but you can't really have the right kind of relationship with your crew that way. And the battles we were fighting were just, what was the point? You know, someone gets a couple dozen more miles of fishing.
Yeah, what was the point? And Orentha just takes a drink out of her beer skin.
So I cashed in my commission, took my pension, and signed up with a merchant crew, and that was that. Eventually, I got to be a part owner of a ship and worked my way up, doing jobs for a cooperative, originally out of Motogame, and been doing that ever since. Eventually bought off all the ship, but I still work for him effectively just because we have good deals. My
Man,
ship, though.
I was a captain and I never got a gun.
Oh,
Working for the wrong people.
sort of looks you up and down and says, "I expect that's because you're the wrong kind of captain."
I was a land captain.
Yeah, they don't
Yeah.
trust. Yeah, you need your sea legs to be able to shoot straight.
Okay, well, we'll
Listen,
go.
I mean,
Mm.
the other thing, you know, like a captain on land is like a what? Lieutenant commander at most at sea.
No, okay, we're not doing this. No, go back to being embarrassed about your ex. Don't shame me in my deserted position. Thank you very much.
Is Orentha stumbling as she says this?
Yes.
Slightly slurring.
Pointing the beer skin. Don't shame me.
I
Okay,
do it
okay,
enough
okay.
myself.
No, it's just a clear point of fact.
Will you sell me your gun now that we've had shared life experience?
No, I will not sell you my gun.
Fine. Okay. Let's go find Red.
We should talk sometime. I can't quite place your accent, but
Sherslia.
hmm?
Sherslia? Is that the name
Oh,
of a country?
It's pronounced like in Welsh, which I expect no one to be able to do, but it's like Sirenixia.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I
In my
do
head
that.
is
Okay.
good. But we can say that you would pronounce it the way it's pronounced.
Okay. Perfect.
Huh. Interesting.
There's a double L there. It's the only language that.
Well, and she will direct you who you can ask. You can talk amongst the crew. And after chatting with a couple people, they will tell you that he is likely staying at the Grubby Oar, which is an oddly nice tavern located in the Hearthfire district. Um, Trindak, how long have you been in the city? If you're back yet,
He's
Michael.
going back. He's
Okay.
not. But I like his SpongeBob room.
I was just saying, I was like, that's dope.
Okay. So you can head over. Milady and Sirenixia,
Yes.
you guys are heading into the center of the city.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
As,
As you
as
pass,
as we're going, before we arrive, I would like to decide, milady, when we meet these ink stains, I would much prefer if you could refrain from lying and telling untruths.
I did not lie.
You said that we had an appointment with.
I did
We
not
were
say we had an
expected.
appointment. I
You
said
said that we were expected.
yes.
We
Any
were not
lieutenant worth
expected.
her salt would know that the day before someone's execution, someone is going to show up.
Very well.
Jammer feels a faint tingling kinship. He's not sure where it's coming from.
Like,
Um, you all will proceed. You will proceed through the more luxurious districts as you move towards the city center. The gardens grow larger, and there begins to be as the manors expand, and they begin to be the occasional um, non-vegetable or fruit-bearing bush. Like there are a few areas that have just a little bit of flowers, and you know from your experience here in Milady that that's the sign of a wealthy person who doesn't need to dedicate all of their available space towards growing food for the table. But you're moving quickly to try to get there as soon as possible, knowing that your time today is limited. And before long, you will arrive at the bronze edifice that you know makes up one of the main halls of the Inkstand. It's a sandstone building constructed with blocks quarried on some of the outlying islands and then floated to the shore. The structure is um, it seems to have many smooth lines and domes on it. Imagine something that is sort of vaguely Tunisian, if you know it. And you see that there are quite a few of these sort of smaller domes that collect into the larger structure. It's clearly part of a larger administrative complex, but you identify that the particular section you're looking for is in here. And you can see that the tops of these buildings and sort of the lintels have all been covered with a beaten bronze that is then inscribed with the various directions to different parts of the facility. But without too much trouble, you're able to locate office number 11. Um, and you eventually will, walking through and asking for a few directions, you will come to, within the structure, a beautiful dark wood door that has a bronze plaque on it that says Magistrate Purcell.
Purcell,
I
did you
will
say?
Yes.
sell. Yes. I will knock.
Your voice from inside of a what you think is a young woman. Calls you, come in.
I will enter.
Milady
You
will be
see
right behind.
that there's sort of a actually quite low desk at the front, and a halfling woman is sitting at the desk there. She looks up when you come in and says, "Yes,
Uh,
who is it?"
I am Sirenixia, exile of Argentax. This is Milady. And
Are you here to see the magistrate?
yes, that was our wish.
Do you have an appointment?
We do not, but we do have some urgent information regarding a case
I
trial
see.
tomorrow.
Urgent information. Okay, I'll look for the first available appointment slot for you. And she looks down at her ledger and flips through and says, I can bring you in next oath day.
It would have to be today. The trial is
Sorry,
tomorrow.
the magistrate is very busy. And unfortunately, I don't think that he'll have time to meet today. However, I can get you in next oath day. It would be in the late afternoon.
Would you find it remarkably uncomfortable if we waited until he came out?
If what? I lost you there for a moment.
Sorry. Would you find it remarkably uncomfortable if we waited in this room till he saw fit to come out?
Well, unfortunately, the magistrate does have other meetings in today, so you couldn't wait here.
I see. And what would you propose we do with the person who is due to be on trial and perhaps executed tomorrow morning?
I'm sure that that the appropriate measures are all being taken by the Inkstain to ensure the fair carriage of justice.
That is why we are here. We have important information regarding that.
If you
That
wish to make
new
a
information.
report to be entered into the file, you can certainly do so at any of the distributed offices, and they would be added into the file for the magistrate's consideration at the time of the trial.
Yes, we were, I believe, told of this. However, it is sensitive information. And from what I understand, not something that you would want any of the district offices being quite aware of. Hence coming to speak to the magistrate.
She sort of pauses. Make a persuasion check.
May I have
Idea.
advantage since Sirenixia is right next to me?
Yes, Sirenixia can certainly provide. Oh, it doesn't matter. Let's see if this young woman.
I mean, you did great with disadvantage too, though.
Yeah, you did.
Like,
Let's see. It says, sensitive information. What kind of sensitive information? She seems a little bit
information.
worried when you say that.
She
It is
kind of looks at
information.
Sirenixia as if sort
You
of
can
to
make
be
an
like,
insight check if you'd like
Okay.
at her expression.
um,
Both of you can.
yeah, I was just gonna kind of look at
Milady,
Sirenixia.
you sense that she seems to be less sort of worried in the general sense, and then more she flicks her eyes towards the door, and it seems she's a little bit concerned that you meant that it's implicates or it would be something that would be embarrassing to the magistrate or to someone associated with them.
I'll let her believe that for now. But I kind of
It is
look at
information.
Sirenixia as if, do we reveal everything or not? Like, it's a look.
We have information that is regards a threat to the city that it is important for for it to be heard.
But not necessarily everyone.
Hearing that, her worries sort of calm a little bit.
I didn't notice.
Yeah.
Milady would like to be able to figure out if this woman's sleeping with her boss.
If what?
I would like to make an insight check as to whether or not this woman is sleeping with her boss.
You
Sleeping
can make
with her
an insight
boss,
check
yes.
as to that.
Everyone's sleeping with their coworkers in this game.
You don't. It doesn't seem to be. It seems to be concern, but you don't detect any sort of any sort of true discomfort or any of those sorts of emotions. She certainly seems to be concerned for her boss's well-being. You feel like you might be able to tell some more if you talked to the boss.
All right.
Well, we have the utmost faith then, if it is about the safety of the city, we have the utmost faith in the Tranquil Guard and their ability to properly handle all forms of sensitive information. If you would like to take your concerns to the magistrate, as I said, I can get you in, but that's really the earliest that you could be seen.
I see. Would you know of any place where I might make myself some tea? I need to partake relatively regularly. And I'm sure Sirenixia has many more points in which she would like to convince you.
There may be I think there's a break room a few doors down.
And she kind of
It's
pulls
really
her camp stove out and she's like, "Can I just use this here?"
This really isn't the proper oak. You're just doing it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay then.
And just let Sirenixia do her thing and offer her a cup of tea.
She seems
done.
uncomfortable.
Smells really good.
Cernix is saying anything?
I'm contemplating.
Okay. While you're contemplating, we're gonna flip over to Agate, Orentha, and Trindak.
I'm going to fill Orentha and Trindak in. Basically, what's happening? They're talking to some more people who really jobs, but not enough to actually do their jobs, and aren't very good at them. Said that we can talk to the magistrate really, really far in the future, but I don't think that's a good idea. And I don't think that we're going to be able to convince Sirenixia and Milady to break Price out of jail. So maybe we should just go break her out of jail, and then they have nothing to do with it.
Orentha.
Emily!
Emily!
What? I'm getting a drink!
You missed.
Important!
You just died.
Someone died?
You did.
That's nice. I died?
No, I just gotta fill you in.
Alcohol poisoning, yeah.
Oh,
So-
what a shame. Time to reroll a character.
And I suggested, since I was listening, I said, so Sirenixia and Milady tried very hard to get them to agree with the paperwork and then do this the legal way, but I don't think they're going to have much success. But also at this point, I don't think we're going to be able to convince them to break Price out of jail either. So I think if we're going to do something, it's going to have to be up to the three of us.
Oh boy.
Remember, you're drunk.
That's why I made the check.
Remember your what?
Drunk.
Drunk, I said.
I'm not super drunk. I've just been playing Flip Cup in the middle of the day.
After drinking this morning.
Yep.
I feel like I trust Sirenixia and Milady and their judgment, but I think ultimately at the end of the day we want the information. And I think that we should do whatever it takes to get that information.
I'm inclined to agree with you. So the issue is what happens when we break her out of jail, get the information, and then Sirenixia.
We can tell Sirenixia which way she headed and leave it up to him. To her.
What about the collateral damage if we don't succeed?
Collateral damage.
I know it's worth that information. Just.
Sorry, I didn't hear you.
I know it's worth it to get that information. Just throwing it out there. That there may be other complications, but I agree it's worth it.
Get the information, and I think Sirenixia is legitimately invested in the greater good. He would be fine with the costs of this operation if we got the information.
Let's just try not to kill any guards.
Oh, I don't want to kill anyone. It's not killing anyone.
Let's not.
All right.
Okay. So you're going to try to break her out. Okay. We're going to have... Why don't you three figure out your plan, and we're going to turn back to Sirenixia and Milady while you contemplate.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's contemplate in the chat.
Exactly.
the chat.
my point.
Okay.
So, Sirenixia, what are you saying? If you're saying anything. Just enjoying tea.
Is there no way? There's nothing that can be done.
If it really is urgent, you can write the magistrate a letter, and I can put it in his in tray, and I'm sure he
Is-
would see it.
The magistrate currently in a meeting? And Milady sort of sets down a cup of tea next to the secretary.
Sure looks at us. Sorry, so is the magistrate currently?
In a meeting.
No, but the magistrate is working on some things at the moment.
Would the magistrate prefer to find out about something incredibly important today or in front of a large group of people?
She pauses. Well, obviously it would be it would be best to find things out in advance, but
It cannot be written down.
make a persuasion check.
This is such a pain. Sorry.
She sort of pales when you say, if it is so terribly important, maybe...
If your job is in any danger by this,
No.
well then I would say let us in. Sirenixia, do you have any...
What?
Or do try the tea.
Let me just speak to him for one moment.
Of course.
She
Sirenixia, your
stands
tea.
up, sort of eyeing the tea, and then walks over, knocks at the door, opens. Here she walks in. Uncle, there are some people here to see you. They said it was very urgent and that they were concerned that it might become public.
Public.
Yes. Yes, I told them. They seemed very insistent. Yes, I understand. I will. She comes out. If it really is that urgent, you may have just a few moments of the magistrate's time. He is very, very busy.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Okay. She'll open the door and lead you in. The door is quite large, but you see that there is actually like a lower handle. Don't even look. I'm not looking. Focus.
Yep. I'm just gonna
She
make the
opens
cat
the
go
lower
away.
handle,
Cat is gone.
and it slides open. And
do you make
you
it go
see
away?
sitting at the desk, it's quite a large desk, and as you're walking around, you actually spy, due to your height, that it's a halfling man sitting on a chair that has been raised a bit with the assistance of a few rather heavy books underneath the feet, and he is sitting and he looks rather cross as you come in. He says, "Well, I really am very busy. Please,
As are we. It is very urgent. There is a prisoner by the name
Marlene,
of
shut the door.
Price that you are.
What was her name?
Marlene,
Thank you.
yes,
that you are set to judge tomorrow, and she has information that is vital to the well-being of the city.
I'm sorry. This is about a prisoner. I was told this was something of public interest."
Yes. The woman was forcibly made part of a cult to a draconic being, which, as far as we know, has the power to travel between dreams. Thus, it's incredibly complex. Essentially, the woman says she has information that she will only give us upon her release. We would like her to believe she has been released so that we may extract the information, and then, depending on your judgment, execute her right away or hand her back to you. The cult, as I understand it, caused many, what was it, Sirenixia? Pirates?
There were many pirates. They captain of Jenny Harkin, and although the pirates were dealt with, the source of the corruption and the cult was not found. Price claims to know the source of this source and would lead us there.
Make me a persuasion check at disadvantage.
How that?
So this is about a prisoner I'm supposed to see tomorrow,
Yes.
and
Yes.
the investigation. And you're saying that the prisoner told you that she needs to be let out because she knows about a cult of a mysterious woman who can go through dreams. Well,
Frankly,
I witnessed the creature in the ocean behind the
I
temple.
see. You did. Um, that's very interesting.
yes, frankly, I believe none of it. But if
Oh,
it will
good.
get us the information that we seek so as to stop this corruption, I am willing to at least
Well,
mislead her so that she believes she is getting what she wants. I am absolutely not of the opinion that she should actually be released, just made to think that she has been.
well, I'm sure that your opinion on matters of the Tranquil Guard's prisoners is considered. Um, you know what? I'll look through all of this. If you just, why don't you go outside and just write down everything that you mentioned about that, and I'll
It
make
is
sure to look into it
vital
in
that we get
detail
this
at the trial.
information now.
No, it
Very
it
well.
it doesn't seem that it really is vital because
You
you are talking. You
this city with your foolishness.
excuse me. I
You doubt my word.
who
We're all gonna
who
die.
even are
I
you?
am Sirenixia, exile of Argentax.
Okay then. Um, I think it's time for you to leave.
I think it is time that you listen. I'm gonna pull out my sword. I'm getting angry.
Make an
Oh.
intimidation check.
And trust me when I say, you wouldn't like him when he's angry.
Hey! A wild next appears.
His eyes go wide, and he looks around. What? What are you doing?
I am letting you know the importance of this. There is a great power that is threatening this land, and I will not let that power grow and threaten it more. I must speak with this prisoner. They must know that they have been let go. I do not intend to let Price leave and cause more harm, but there is a greater purpose here, and I will not lose this opportunity.
Guys, you ready to break Sirenixia out of jail? Tell it to the group.
Oh,
I bamf into Jasper, hear that? Tell that to the group, bamf out.
okay, okay. Um, okay. Why don't you just put the sword down, nice dragon lady, and we can just talk about this.
I would like to be
Okay.
able to tell how likely he is to call guards on us. Like, is he
Make an
successfully
insight check.
intimidated, or
He's terrified. You're not sure. Some giant dragon lady has just barged into his office, started waving a sword around and talking about how there are secret cults of people that travel through dreams.
So in other words, it's another Monday. In other words.
You will draft a paper that I will take to the prison. It will inform the lieutenant there that I have the permission to take this phrase for a day.
Okay.
I will return it.
Just put the sword down, and I'll write that down for you. Sure.
Thank you. I'm not putting the sword down.
He pulls out a paper and starts writing it out. He's looking all around.
Quick
I
question.
really wish I'd taken almond milk.
Well, go ahead. I was going to ask something, and then I realized, like, she's focused. She's not paying attention to what anybody else is doing right now.
Maria,
So.
were you saying something?
No.
Okay.
I said a thing. I was
We're going to pop over to our other group. What are y'all doing?
We are discussing plans on how to break Price out of jail with one spellcaster.
Okay.
So-
have you come to a
Wait,
decision?
why? Okay, hold on. I know I'm late to the party. Why the fuck is Price in jail now?
Price has
We
been
put
in
her
jail.
in jail.
Price is the pirate
Who?
that we gave to
Put in
the
jail.
We'll
guard.
explain this after.
Yeah.
In order for her to not be murdered by Sirenixia and Genre, we handed her to the authorities of Guevira, and now she's on trial and is going to be murdered tomorrow morning. I'm sorry, executed. And she wants to be broken out in exchange for information on the dragon sea monster thing. That's all.
They've been involved in bureaucracy all day. They
Oh,
chose
no,
this
it's not.
life.
And Sirenixia just got fed up with it.
Sirenixia just pulled a sword on
Oh, that
one
part I
of
heard.
the
I was
one of
there
the
for that
upper
part.
level bureaucrats
On
of
the Magister.
Guevira.
Yep.
So in other words, what you're saying is it's just another Monday.
Yeah.
Yep.
I had a question.
All right, Dream Team, what are we doing?
Jack, do we know of another entrance into that hallway that's there? Besides the one that's guarded by the two.
There are the windows.
Yep.
And there isn't another door at the other side of the building.
So that's the only entrance that we know of.
That's the only door that you've seen. You haven't really investigated thoroughly, like inside the wall, or there could be others, but the area that you see here on the map is the area you've explored.
What time does it get dark?
It is what? It's not quite. What's the month? It's Fantasy June.
July by now, I think.
Dang it.
Yeah, it gets dark late, probably around 8.
I mean, you're assuming you're in the northern hemisphere, but that's fine.
Oh yeah, we're at the equator, so we are just about on the equator, so it would probably get dark around 6:45, 7. We'll say 7.
Okay. So why don't we go between 7 and 8? Because at 8 o'clock, that lieutenant comes back on shift, and she is knowing that people are up to some shit. And we kind of want to do this in the dark. Right?
Okay.
Does that sound okay to the people that are breaking into a prison?
Yeah, maybe we should. So maybe we get there. Jasper do a quick run around.
Yeah, that's
and
a
make
good
sure
idea.
there's nothing that we missed.
He can case the
We have
joint.
that right, while we hang out at a local pub. We can continue to discuss, and then
So we're up.
Okay.
That's not what you go to a pub to do.
so let's go to a pub and send Jasper in for expediency.
Okay. So I'm just gonna have you make a stealth check for Jasper.
And have another dead Jasper at the end of this episode.
That is happening a lot here, isn't it?
Should be a group Jasper Resurrection Fund. Hang on.
Sounds like an oddly specific
Or we
charity.
just get him armor. I feel like we should just get him armor.
I don't think that would really help much.
Yes, it
I
would.
have
It would
I have
I mean, that's
plans.
debatable.
We can get him a little
but it wouldn't help his 1 hit point.
He has more than
Plus
one.
1.
Oh. Okay.
So it's 11.
You have advantage because you're so tiny. And so what you will see, as we'll just say Jasper looks around inside, you will see that this whole area, on the side of the wall that faces it, there are actually quite a few damaged sections where the whole thing has fallen, has crumbled away, and so they don't use those cells anymore. But you think that either from the inside of the wall or perhaps from underneath in the tunnels somewhere, there might be a way to gain access to them.
So I'm gonna have. Where is Jasper right now?
We'll say Jasper. Well, Jasper is right here, so we'll put Jasper like right there, looking down.
So cute and tiny.
I love him. Wait, I lost him.
He did too.
Can't find him on the map. He's so small.
Oh,
here.
the good boy.
Aw.
Top part.
What a good one. Okay, so
Yeah,
is the
you can probably
floor
see this whole thing at this point.
the floor down here, is it caved in?
Yeah,
Why
And
is it
leads
dark?
to the tunnels?
it's dark because there's no light.
That's intelligent.
Okay, so I'm going to.
You also
But-
see that in the room, as you're just because you'd have looked at the whole area, there is a man that you had that you think is the sergeant based on the times, on the floor, passed out,
Good.
as depicted thus.
Solid.
When I'm looking at the map, they aren't holes in the floor that I'm seeing.
There are holes in the floor.
Do they lead down to the tunnels that we know are beneath the city?
There's like some rock and stuff that is wedged in there, but you do see some gaps, so you could probably squeeze through.
Okay, so Jasper is going to squeeze through this one where the door is already. The guards. I'm not sure that's doing us any good. Oh boy.
Oh, unless you
Um,
lead the guards somewhere out here, like if you created a ruckus in this one,
True.
Okay.
since
you're
we'll have
trying to
access
look
to
down
both of
here.
them.
So you get in, and you'll see that there. It seems to break down into like a little bit of a tunnel of some sort. It might be some sort of a maintenance area. You're not totally sure, but you could spend some time examining it if you'd like.
Well, how valuable is it for me even to check out this area? Because if we get out through here, we're still like right at the guards. Like,
We would just have to get them away from that position.
all right. So I'm gonna tell Jasper to investigate this tunnel and see if it's big enough for my friends.
Okay. So Jasper will go down. Make an investigation check since you're investigating the inside of that tunnel.
Investigation. So this is not going to be this high because it's for Jasper, and Jasper is not as smart as
You
Agate.
can roll for Jasper using wisdom.
You can roll for you because this is you in Jasper's body investigating.
Even better.
An investigation is
Ooh.
just looking around. So you'll notice a couple things. First, you notice that one side of the wall is sort of rounded. It's made of like the same slate material that you mentioned before, and that seems to be the part that's caved in a bit and has not really been maintained. They've just piled up the rock and moved on. So the tunnel that runs here is actually quite narrow, and it seems like it would have originally run under this whole section. And it runs parallel to the wall, and you actually see as Jasper looks along the wall to his right that the flat black stone of the wall continues down underground here. And as Jasper examines, he actually sees where above it's just totally smooth. Here, down at the foundations, there are these runes elaborately carved into the structure of the wall. And it doesn't seem to have weathered nearly as much as the stone around it. But Jasper can run along through the tunnels and examine and try to see where this goes. That'll just take a survival check. So hope you roll well. It's not what you rolled, so that's okay. So Jasper scurries along. And what he'll discover as he moves sort of further back and forth, you've got about a mile distance on each side, is that this tunnel seems to run the length of the walls at the foundations, and it seems to be actually a maintenance tunnel of sorts. And although it runs on the exterior of the wall, which would seem to be a liability for defense, there's actually a few areas that can be accessed, which to you seems odd, because normally you would not want people to be able to access the outer side of your foundations, if this was a wall intended to prevent people from getting in. So that sticks with you, and you don't really know that much about fortification and security, but that's just what you think. This is a little weird. But you are able to find, after a little bit of looking, that it does pop out at a graded cover that seems to be an area for drainage in the maintenance tunnels. It's pretty small. It's maybe like 2 feet wide, but it just is an area where water that collects down in the tunnels can flow out into the swampy area around the estuary.
I'm going to leave Jasper briefly, bamf back into myself, and tell Orentha and Trindak. There's maybe room for like one person who's really small to fit. Trindak, you could probably help me distract the guards.
Suppose I
I
could.
think that might make more sense. Think you could
While you're
sneak
thinking
in?
about that, we're going to flash back to Sirenixia and
Oh
Milady.
boy.
Jack, I'm just
He's
sorry, just because I'm not sure if you saw this about stopping by
Yep, we're
10:30.
going to stop
Okay,
shortly.
cool.
I'm
Just
just
double
going to
checking.
find an appropriate.
I was like, I don't want to end up
Yep.
getting into combat with this poor guy.
Yep. So he's sort of slowly writing out this long letter about the things. He's sort of glancing up at you slowly. Sirenixia, you're really focused on him. Are you just emotions roiling right now?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
My eyes are glowing red. My sword is flickering in
Okay.
flame.
Milady, I'd like you to make an insight check then.
Me, yes.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Okay. You think he's deliberately taking a little bit longer. And you recall that she said he had other appointments today.
If you would mind writing faster,
Oh,
please do so.
yeah. Yes, of
As
course.
I am not sure if I am capable of holding her back should she lose her temper further.
Sure. Keep writing, keep writing.
I would like to
Here
peer
you
over and
go.
see what he's writing.
It seems to be this really ornate, elaborate letter where he's talking about, like, oh, for the good of the realm, this person needs access to be this person. Let none interfere with her progress. Yada yada yada.
So it tells us what we need.
You think it does?
Okay.
It's in bureaucro.
Does it seem like there would be
So
anything that's a secret code? Like anything that doesn't seem quite in place or anything like that?
we'll say we don't have linguistics in this edition, do we? Oh, how sad.
No.
Let's say, why don't you just make me? I'd imagine that would be investigation. Let's make it an investigation.
Jeez. Okay.
You don't think so?
All right. Thank you. Good sir.
He'll hand it off to you. Oh, yeah, yes, of course.
And I'll take.
Thank you. I appreciate you doing your duty.
Sirenixia, put the sword away, please.
Uh-huh.
I will take it and sheath the sword and just walk out.
Wait, hold on. I'm putting my hand on her shoulder before she leaves. Deep
What?
breath. Deep breath. You don't want to come out like this.
Keep walking.
Okay.
Okay. Are you walking straight out of the building?
Yep.
I would like to nod to
pass
Eileen and say thank you.
Of course. What's happening?
And
You probably get about. You probably
has
get.
she tasted her tea?
Yes.
Okay. What did you think of the tea?
It was very good. Thank you. Very good.
Wonderful. Please keep the mug.
Oh, I couldn't do that.
I'll come by and get it later.
Oh, well, thank you.
Of
Thank you.
course. You have a difficult life. Continuing. Or
Her brow
job. I
furrows
didn't
at
mean
that.
life.
Her brow furrows at that a little bit.
No, I'm sorry. I meant to say job.
It's a stressful
That was
situation.
on a metal-
You were a little
yes,
too
exactly.
honest.
I meant to say job. Like me, Maria. It didn't work.
I'd imagine that you guys probably get out of the hall, out of the door, down the hall, get out to the door of the main building before you hear shouts down the hallway.
Okay.
At that point, as you hear the call of help, help! There's a crazy dragon lady with a sword talking madness, and she's held me up for paperwork.
Let's go faster. Let's go faster.
Oh boy.
I'm just walking briskly.
Yeah. Just
And
walking.
as you
We're
head
tall.
off,
I
We
care
have a
not. I
ground.
care
Yeah.
not for this bureaucracy.
Okay,
I'm done.
And that is where we're gonna leave this episode.
Awesome.
Guys,
You know,
we've
why
left
not?
the
So